in the middle of the night or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world, a group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
Hey you! Are you tired of lame-ass stories for kids? Well, don't be a moron. Walk through that door. What's wrong? Don't be a sissy baby. Just have a look. The Buckler Canadian Tussle. Exclusively on Fun My Comic.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 69. Nice.
Yes, that's a nice number.
Man, you'd think that we'd be a little bit more professional once we got to 69, but no, not a chance. Not around here, guys. We would not want to disappoint you by going and getting all professional and crap in here. That's not going to happen anytime soon. So, man, what a week. What a week. It's been good times. Randy's not here yet. He will be here later. He's got some real life stuff to handle, so Craig is going to slide into that position for a little while. He's going to be the man. He's going to be the narrator, the curator today. How you doing, Craig? Doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Things are good. Summer's here.
Summer, yeah. What's summer like in the Great White North up there?
Well, there's no snow on the ground for starters.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, that's a good start. Yeah.
Wow.
You going for a rip?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, round and about.
You
But
going for a rip?
but yeah, no. I mean, I got a couple
Go
acres
for
of
a sip
land,
there,
so
Aben.
yeah. So I clean out my land. I've been up on my roof. You know, gonna do some stuff around the house. It's time to do that. So
Doing manly stuff.
Oh yeah,
Good.
yeah.
yeah. Craig's a manly guy.
Yeah.
So I heard this thing that liberal women are upset
What happened
when they're
now?
dating. When they're dating, so they're having this trouble. When they're dating, they're having trouble finding masculine men that aren't conservatives. And I'm not saying that conservatism, that masculinity is a strictly conservative trait, because I do know there's some liberal men out there that are fairly masculine. And one that comes to mind is, I think Nick Offerman is pretty liberal, but he's pretty manly, right? But I think it's funny. But you know, they're the ones that have been asking for the soy boys, the soft boys, you know. So I don't think they should get to complain. They made them; they get to date them, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
That should be the
I
rule.
mean, you
They
guys
You
wanted
made
ordered
them, you
that
date
cake.
them.
They wanted all their men castrated, and that's what you get. I don't know what
That's
to
what
tell
you
you.
get. Yeah, they're not going to get Craig or Pedro.
No,
They're not getting that. They're not getting that.
I mean, I've shown that I'm an emotional clam. So yeah, I'm not good for any woman. So
He's not good for any woman.
Well, no, I mean we're all emotional. Just I do it in the shower and not in front of anyone.
oh, man.
Like a real man.
yeah,
I bottle those
that-
feelings up until they explode in a fiery rage.
Exactly. Shut up, dog.
That's how we do it around here.
Yeah, dude.
Actions have consequences. When you oppress people, they rise up in a fiery anger.
Good times, good times. Pedro, how was your week going, man?
It's been eventful. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening. Lots of work. Doing some trailers for the good people of the community, and working on waifus and kaijus. Everything's fine.
Waifus and kaijus.
Yeah,
Kaijus have gotten very, very popular.
yeah. It's
Very
it's
popular.
been a trend. I mean, the only thing I don't like scream like bandwagon like one of us would be Frankie B. Washington. He's been like raising that kaiju flag for a while, but yeah, there's a couple of kaiju books coming out, which is a good thing because everybody's doing their own thing, right? So
I mean, for as long as I've been in this community, you had the year of werewolves, and then you had the
Yeah.
year of vampires. So
Mhm.
you know, it's just
Yeah.
the way
Yeah,
things
now it's
go.
gonna go down to it's gonna go down to kaijus. And what do you think is gonna be the next one? Think zombies are coming back soon?
yeah, I think we're gonna circle back to
I think
zombies.
we're gonna see, and I hope that whiskey, is at the front of that fad. That
The
phase.
zombie fan?
Maybe.
Oh,
We'll
nice.
see.
Yeah. So
Yeah, dude.
yeah. All right. Good week, man. Whiskey, how about you? Been doing all right this week? Staying busy?
Yeah, just staying really, really busy. Just keep trying to work on my stuff. And then actually yesterday or sometime last night while I was working or in the din of the continuous grind, I chose violence actually. And
Nice.
unfortunately it was a very, very high follower count. So I got that annoyed a bunch of people on the opposite side of the aisle, and they
Oh,
were
dude.
like, "Oh, you know,
Oops.
they're all up on Twitter." But like
Oops,
one of
my
my
bad.
posts got like 11. I think how many check out my views here? 14,000 views. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
I annoyed somebody.
Did they ratio you? Did they
Engagement.
ratio you? a lot?
Not probably, yeah. But it was tit for tat. I held my own, but they ended up the high follower count ended up blocking me. So I think I wanted maybe.
Well, whenever they take themselves out of the argument, it's best.
Mm-hmm.
So Adam Kimber is asking a question for the Americans: is Paul Bunyan a kaiju?
I would say no.
I would say no, but my friend
Babe.
Nick Talker
Babe on
has
the
a
other
story that he's put out called Paul Bunyan versus the Kaijus,
Nice.
or Paul Bunyan Kaiju Slayer is what it's
Slayer.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's working on that. I was gonna do a bit of a story, but I haven't had time to draw it for him. But yeah, so it's pretty neat. So
Yeah.
it's basically Paul Bunyan kicking kaiju butt.
But what about this blue ox, Babe? Would that be a
Well,
kaiju?
Babe is blue, but
Yeah.
she ain't no ox.
Can't
if
know
you get my
ox.
drift.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
wink wink, say no more.
That was a euphemism, so they didn't
Yeah.
understand what was going on back then.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we have a guest today, Ashley Land from Unbreakable Argonauts. We've showed off your campaign before, being on Fun My Comic, but we're going to get to meet you a little bit and learn more about your project, which has a very pulp feel to it. And I like that. I like this return to the pulp age. Ashley, tell us just a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to the crowd out there.
Well, thanks for having me on. My name's Ashley Land. I'm the creator of the Unbreakable Argonauts and basically a huge Golden Age fan, big fan of pulp. Guys like Phantom, Shadow, Alan Moore's Tom Strong, all that kind of stuff just really came together, and started scripting, pitching my own little ideas for comics at the start of lockdown because it was just nothing else to do and really bored, and got all these ideas together. And as time went on, I decided I actually wanted to do something with them. So I took all these ideas and kind of reworked them together into this little team, and yeah, now that's the Unbreakable Argonauts.
So there you go. I think the lockdown did that for a lot of people. It gave people the much needed time to finally flex their creative muscles.
Yeah.
And it has ushered in what I call a renaissance of comics. And most of the good things that are in comics right now are independent. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. We're going to go over this hashtag, this comics broke me. We're gonna talk about that, some of those stories, and then we're gonna really focus in on really this stark contrast between mainstream people working mainstream and people working indies. Man, I'll tell you, you can tell that comics are not the problem. It's this there's this crab mentality that even exists kind of at that level, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. Too much good stuff to talk about today. Too much good stuff to talk about. Let's welcome the chat. What's that?
So that's always good.
Yep. Let's go and welcome the chat. Thanks everyone for being here. We've got Oni64 is in the house first. Welcome, Oi. Good to have you here, Mad Ruth. And in the chat and on the panel, we got Adam Kimber. We've already welcomed him, but hail chat. Jonathan Merrill, a good friend of mine. That's some good bacon. Yes, it is. Another. Oh, hey, Luke, smells amazing. Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, that's spelling.
Normally get another. Ooh, what was that? I'm sorry, that's my bad.
I'm gonna get some coffee.
I have a nervous tummy. Jonathan Merrill, dude, that's a wicked opening sequence. It really is. Let me talk about that opening sequence for just 1 second. I love the rerun dance, and always have. And so in the 90s, when that show Scrubs was on, I remember there's this one scene where the blonde nurse, I can't remember her real name, but I think she goes by, I can't remember her name on the show. And then Amy Smart, so like he had dated the nurse, or not the nurse, the doctor, and he was dating Amy Smart. And he said, man, whenever I see like my ex and my new girlfriend talking, I always get this, like, I always wonder if they're talking about, and we all think like, oh, are they talking about him or whatever? No, and it shows them like with rerun, learning the rerun dance. And so he comes over and he's like, hey, were you guys talking about, and the doctor, she goes, no, we weren't talking about the rerun dance. And it's funny that, she would know that that's what he thinks. But so every Thursday morning, I'm reminded of my childhood, loving rerun, and then remembering, the 90s with the rerun dance. So I know it's probably funnier, more amusing to me as an anecdote than it is anybody else. But heck, it's my channel. I guess I can say what I want, right? Deal with the consequences later.
Up Elizabeth Banks. Is that who you were thinking of?
There we go. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now that's a co-host right there. Where were the rest of you guys at on that? Welcome, Comic Books Black Belt. We've got Russ Leach in the house. Talk about a legend. I wonder if he has any Comics Broke Me stories. Probably not, because he's pretty He's a pretty smart guy. He understands
He's
business.
probably laughing. Yeah, he's probably laughing,
laughing
at
at
the
these
whole thing,
guys.
like that.
Yeah, my
We got Genuine Comics in the house.
broke
Welcome,
me
Dave
story.
Brink. Good morning, America.
Yeah.
Comics broke me back when I carried all the boxes for Critical Blast to the crowd. Yep,
Nice.
yep, that'll do it.
Dude, the best,
They broke
the
my
best
back.
story of all this comics broke me happened on Monday, and let's just until we're talking about that topic.
Yeah,
bring it
yeah,
up.
yeah. Save that one for that. We're trying to hold off on that one until Randy gets back because he
Yeah.
really wants to talk about this. So we're gonna cover some news and then, yeah, he had to go yell at the bank and he's got people working on floors and
You
stuff.
see
So
problems with the bank.
can I get a shout out for Powerhouse Art Emporium 7 artist, each owing a day of the week showcase their best original art.
That sounds-
I would love
that sounds
to.
fun.
You need to let StreamYard share your profile. I have no idea who
Yeah.
you are.
Facebook user.
On our end, we can't see it. It just shows Facebook user. Either that or head on over to YouTube and let us know there. And throw the link to one of our admins, and I'm sure they will be happy to share that out. I think I've got admins in the chat right now.
Yep.
We got.
I can share it, I think.
Yeah. All right. And we got Immortal Rising is here. Welcome, my friend. Good to have
Hey.
you. The Buckler, you say? Tell me more. Yeah, the Buckler's very fun character. John Eppel, good morning, everyone. We got Wolfer is in the house. Welcome. Who's in here today? Well, Craig, Pedro, Ashley, Whiskey, me, Randy will be here later, and it's gonna be a fun day. Gray Wolf Graphics, welcome. WD Smith is in the house, one of our channel members. Thank you so much for being a supporter. We appreciate you and all that you do. RJ William, hail, what's up, my friend? Let me see. We got BS Warren in the house. Good morning, my dudes. Good to have you here as well. Masculinity is toxic. I don't know about that. Maybe it is. I don't know. Hail the Iron Age from Aragmar Virillion. That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Yes, hail the Iron Age. And Iron Age distribution will be getting its start here very, very soon, guys. Very, very soon. Very excited about that. Let me see.
Sorry, my dog is acting out. I'm gonna mute.
Jonathan says totally zombies. Yeah, we think zombies will come next. Jonathan, zombies, I'm ahead of the curve. Yeah, everyone, zombies deserve their day once again. We got Bold Cat Studios in the house. Welcome, my friend. It's good to have you here. And let me see who else. Trying to smooth through. Dr. Mask Retro Elixir is here. Welcome. Apparently Australia's version of Paul Bunyan is Crooked Mick. Boy, that sounds like fun. When he was a kid, he grew up too fast, so his dad ring barked his legs. It didn't work. Since that day, Mick walks like with a limp.
That sounds like
Dang.
Saw, man. Yeah,
This sounds sick.
yeah, it's like.
Of course,
Hey,
the Australian
kids.
version would have some kind of weird thing like that.
Don't grow up, okay?
I love you, Aussies. Here's the thing
Yeah.
about Aussies. Aussies are like England's rednecks. You know, they're like they're like going for a rip on like 10,000 or something, man. They live in an inhospitable area, like totally, you know, and they're all like, hey, that's
Well,
fine, you know.
It began as a
That's,
prison
all-
colony, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. That was a
That's
nice
not all-
gathering. Okay.
I saw an Aussie dude or a bunch of Aussie dudes in a YouTube video, and they're just hanging out, and they're like near this guy's farm for the first time. I guess they're on a farm, a couple of them, and near an electric fence. And one of them just says, touches the fence and he gets shocked, right? And then he keeps doing it, and he's like, "You gotta try this," you know.
Yeah. Hey, check this out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like it's a sandwich. Try it.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it with
Yeah.
your tongue.
Yeah, we may look at some. So last week I got struck. And I had to fight it because remember that bit we were watching where the fail things and those two chicks were fighting, and she grabbed her by the hair and swung her around.
Yeah.
Well, that tricked the algorithms, thinking that we were glorifying violence or whatever when we were laughing at that. So I had to fight it. I won that fight, but it's all good. So we may look at that again. We'll just have to scoop ass.
Closing all the windows on the videos I was gonna share. Sorry.
Sorry. He's like, and close.
Yeah, close.
Marv's in the house. He goes, hello, everyone. Finally, I'm able to see the show live. I'll be at home for a couple of days. Oh, well, good to see that you got some time off. Hopefully, it's for a good reason. Aragmar says that Indy was always the future. Or the future was always Indy. I agree. Apex Comics is in the house. Welcome. It's good to have you here today. Let me see. Who else do we got? Glenn Fleming is in the house. Glenn, I miss you being on panel sometimes, man. Good friend. I like this guy a lot. 24 Eyes is in the house as well. Look at that. If you count them, I bet you'll find 24 of them. Dr. Mass says, I hear that when I was a comic book dealer in the 90s, had to carry long boxes down 2 flights of stairs. So he gets Dave getting broken by carrying those boxes.
Exactly.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Man, the comics broke me hashtag has some dumb crybabies who apparently ruined their health making comics. And look, I'm ruining my health making comics, but it's only because I shut off. Starburst jelly beans, baby. Look at that.
Oh,
these things can sit up under my desk, and I'll nibble on them here and there. So yeah, they're probably gonna kill me, but it's all right. It's worth it.
I'll just shut up.
It's all right.
It's kiwi season down here. I'm surrounded
It's
by
kiwi season.
Yeah, like the kiwis are in bloom. Yeah,
So
I'm snacking a lot.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is past this nap that I had, but I love pickles. Like, man, I'm always snacking on pickles. Yeah, I got a big jar of them in my refrigerator. Yeah, well, they're free for diabetics. You don't have to worry about anything. Yeah.
I always try to have.
Right, so where were we?
I was gonna say I always try to have a house full of fruits and charcuterie platters with crackers and pickles and meats and stuff. Just the way
you're an aristocrat.
I like it. I like hearing. I like hearing Craig say charcuterie.
Yeah,
charcuterie. There you go.
Charcuterie and cheeses and some
there you go. Oh, Dr. Ben is in the house.
This whole comics broke me thing is ridiculous. I mean, like,
yeah.
I've been awake I slept for before the show. I slept for maybe 2 hours. That was it. Like, and I haven't even started my first comic yet. Just get over yourselves.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's Todd, the Art Emporium. It's Todd Mulrooney.
There we go, Todd. Okay, yes,
Todd.
Guys, check out Todd Mulrooney's Art Emporium.
Yeah.
Let's get a link for him if we can on there.
Yeah, fire me the
Ben
link,
is in the house. Welcome. Dr. Ben is in the house watching and just drinking coffee. Only kind of semi-functional so far. I do understand that feeling. I'm drinking lemonade right now, but I've got my 32 ounces of coffee that we'll be breaking into here shortly. I'm not normally this chipper without any coffee in me. I don't know what it is this morning that's done it, but here we are nonetheless. Black Knight, that's right. Aragmar's Black Knight, thank you. Yeah, it's been a while since we talked. Dig the long box workout. Yeah, that is great. I do have a couple of long boxes that I make my son lift now. I don't do them. So, all right. I think we've caught up with everyone.
That's what kids are for.
Yeah, that's good.
Holy cow. Let's get into some. Let's go ahead and just dive right into something. Let's let me share the screen here. Here we go. Do we want to do news right away, or do we want to?
No, this looks fun.
Let's watch. You want to watch? Let's do some out of
another chick flight.
Context humans.
Okay.
Let's just watch a couple videos. Just laugh at. Let's just laugh at somebody. All right, let's just laugh. Here we go.
Oh, okay, we're gonna get struck right away.
All right.
Yeah.
That'll do it right there.
I mean, that's an overachiever. Like, I kind of respect that.
Oh, yeah. Where are you supposed to go from there?
You see, and that's why love
What
is
was
dangerous.
his thought? Like, what was his thought pattern on that? This is going to go well. I'm going to pretend to throw you, and then we're both going in the
We're
drink.
both gonna go down. Yeah.
There we go.
Mm.
That's a commercial.
Yeah.
Let's find another funny one.
Oh no, you're gonna get struck. I've seen this one. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
Keep moving right along. Yep, they're gonna get me. What on earth?
What do they say?
Oh, I thought this generation couldn't get any worse.
Ingenuity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at that. I mean, have you seen
Can
like
you fix
this
with
person?
spanking? I have a question. Like, we should introduce like fire hoses within houses. Just like see somebody do that.
I don't know,
just
man.
fire
This is
hose them
kind of
against the
genius,
wall.
though.
I don't know.
This
man.
is
It's
kind of
just too
genius. I don't
lazy.
care who you are.
It's too lazy, man.
I mean, this is like a whole nother level of like relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sheesh.
I know, man. Nobody should be that relaxed, man. Maybe like loose lions into society or something. Some like apex predators in cities.
Yeah.
What
Well,
is
that's
great though is we live in a world now where if you want a job, you can get a job. 'Cause
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants
Yeah.
to work.
just nobody wants to work. Oh no.
Oh,
no.
yeah. It's laughing at the elderly.
Oh, no.
Why not? I can't get up.
I don't think those are. Oh, there they go.
Oh, nice.
That reminds me of a time. Me and my friend, we were at a youth event, and this was early on in Beth and I's marriage, and we did one of those big blob things, that's out on the lake, and he and I jumped and shot her in the air, and between the two of us, man, we're pretty heavy, and it was funny because she went flying, kind of like that, actually.
Yeah, but who's the victim in that video?
Who's the victim?
Yeah, like can you bring it
Nobody,
back?
man. It's all fun.
No. Bring it back. Bring it back. Who's the victim here?
The TV.
No. The victim would be the girl who jumped on the bluff thing. It's how dare she fly like that? Are you calling me fat?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for using some of that liberal logic for me.
Yeah, that's the mentality here.
That wasn't that funny.
we just don't think in that direction. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, hey, what's up, Randy?
Oh, this is. That was always going to happen, buddy.
Well, that's parenthood.
Oh, look at that face. That's the face of a guy
that guy
regretting his
should've wore a
choices.
condom. Yeah.
Yep.
And the baby's laughing.
Yeah, exactly.
That was it. Because those are your kids, man.
Mhm.
You made that.
Is he Dad? Screw your dreams, Dad.
I've seen that face many times when I was a kid.
Yep. That was it.
Stay
Ooh,
behind the
ouch.
firing line. Stay
Yeah,
behind the
that's the
firing
thing.
line.
Always.
Sometimes, like, entire family.
Speaking of firing line, check this out.
Oh, dude. That builds character. Look at that. That guy's going to be a
It's
killer.
just me.
That kid.
Hey, I'm just gonna go on social media today. Gonna, oh, what's that? Hashtag comics broke me, and whack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
that guy's very nimble for a fat guy.
He really is. Oh.
Oh, no. I've seen
We don't
that.
need to see that.
Oh no.
She tossed the salad. That she did.
She tossed the salad.
Oh no! What?
With her
and then,
hand.
and then put her hands in the salad.
Dig, dig, dig.
Oh, no.
And then served it to the
nasty.
guests. I guess.
Nasty.
That's serving her to. I
Little
don't
extra
care how.
flavoring this morning.
I don't care how fine a person is. That's
I would have called the
that's
police
grounds
right
for.
away.
Oh no.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Ooh, is he okay? He's lucky to be
fine.
alive.
He's lucky. He's running. Look.
I mean, yeah.
Oh my
he
gosh.
ran in her pants.
Look. Look, he's running out. He's.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That
Won
is.
the lottery of
You
life.
minding my own business,
Who?
dude. Tell me if
I
that
mean-
ain't life for you. Running.
Yeah.
Mind your own.
His life
Ooh.
flashed before his eyes, but it was in Spanish. Wow.
He's reading things like, "Where's the
Slightly
tax
is.
office?" And then just
Oh my God.
squished against the wall.
Must have been in the middle of a big game.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But,
I'd kill a friend for this one.
mm-hmm.
We ain't friends no more. We ain't friends no more.
We ain't friends
Not
no
after
more, yeah.
that.
We're killing you.
Oh, we can't have the fighting. I got struck last week for that.
Yeah.
Did you really? For violence?
All right.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
This is horrible. This is like a
Oh.
guy who wants to watch the world burn. Just, oh my
Yeah.
God.
This is
I
like
mean, nice
all the
stream, though.
trolls. This is like all the
no.
trolls complaining about Eric July's making Eric July making another $1 million. Now he's got to touch it. Now he's stuck in there.
He's
He
stuck in
short
there.
circuited it. You freak. You get what you deserve. He's trying to jump up and down. Look,
Little
that's
fuse.
instant karma right there.
That is.
There
That
you
is.
go.
Instant karma.
Freaking idiot.
Oh,
This is
he's
just
going in the
me.
fire.
Oh,
Oh gosh,
no.
that's exactly what me and my friends would have done.
Oh,
In
no,
fact-
dude. That's-
Man, I'm so glad we didn't have cameras on our phones back then. There'd be so many embarrassing
This
things.
is
One
what
beat
social
you-
media used to look like.
Yeah,
What's that?
there it is
The
again.
moron?
So good it's been shared twice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So,
Social
oh yeah,
media
one more. I
before
think
There you
the
go.
agent, right?
More.
I think we're good on this now. So we will go back to my bookmarks here, but we'll cover this in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's go over some news here, guys.
Do
So been a rough week. Senior passed away.
John Romita.
John Romita.
Go ahead, dude.
John
That
Romita
was rough.
Senior passed away this week. 93? Long
Yeah,
life.
93.
Long life.
93.
Long life. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always sad to lose one of the greats, and you know the number of people that actually worked with Stan are running out, man. We're
Yeah.
getting fewer
They're,
and fewer.
running.
but,
Yeah, they're finishing their run, man.
Yeah.
It's part of life. But
yeah, but
Just one more of Nostradamus' prophecies.
And John was especially rare as art director working up at Marvel, because as far as I know, nobody has a bad story about him.
oh,
right.
that's
Nobody. You know,
Yeah.
and he was kind to a lot of people, and you get up there on Facebook and you're looking at testimonials from like Joe Jusko and Bob Layton and all of these big people, and you realize what kind of a great person he was. I mean, just kind and helpful, and it was just above and beyond, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Because
That's
somebody
awesome.
up there at that position at Marvel as art director, it had to have been a high stress job.
Yeah, and you're gonna make enemies doing that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and for
yeah.
people, to be like,
Yeah.
no, he's great.
And the
That's
thing,
awesome.
like, if it's in your personality and you have carte blanche to be a dick, you will.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh,
so it speaks
I know
volumes
I
about
would
this
be.
character.
Heck
Yeah,
I know I
could
would
tell
be.
people off left and right. Yeah,
I've
Yeah.
been there.
it'd be
Right.
salty art director. That's what it would
There
be.
we go.
Yeah.
So Marvel drops lawsuits against 4 creators and estates. So it settles with Colin, Heck, Lieber, and Rico, but not Ditko. Of course, not Ditko.
Yep.
Marvel Comics has dropped its lawsuits against writer Larry Lieber and the estates of Don Heck, Gene Colan, and Don Rico. But legal proceedings are continuing with the estate of Steve Ditko, Reuters reports. The 4 lawsuits were dropped with prejudice, which means Marvel cannot refile them. And both a Disney spokesperson and an attorney for the artists said that the parties had reached an amicable resolution. On May 19th, 2023, both Marvel and Ditko's estate filed motions for summary judgment in that case, essentially asking the judge to find their favor without a trial. So that's what's going on there. We won't get into this whole thing, but Marvel sued all 5 creators and estates in 2021 after they filed copyright termination notices on work they created or co-created for the publisher, including the characters Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, and Doctor Strange. Basically, everybody that's going into the new MCU, they're trying not to pay out royalties.
Yeah,
Right.
That's it exactly.
That's what they're trying to do. F those guys. Screw you.
And this is
Screw you, Marvel. Screw you, Disney.
The point here is that the artists weren't looking to be rich; they were just looking for compensation.
For things they created.
They want their cut.
Yeah,
Their family says, you know what? That whole hashtag comics broke me thing or whatever. These guys worked their butts off for crap pay from publishers
yep.
because, that's how the industry is, right?
They were
There was
earning
this-
a living. Yeah.
There was this work for hire clause on the back of every artist and writer's check that they couldn't get paid unless they signed away, unless they endorsed the check, obviously. But endorsing the check, they were also signing this work for hire contract that Marvel thought they were being really slick about. Well, what's happened now is the copyrights on the creator copyrights on these properties have gone so long that they're starting to lapse. So the estate's coming back and going, you know what? We can take that copyright away from you.
Yeah.
And they sent them notice that they were going to do that. Marvel sued them under that work for hire contract. So what they did now is Disney threw a little bit of money at it, a little compensation.
Yeah.
They might have gotten the same deal or the same kind of deal that they gave Kirby, where they're going to make sure that their estates are attributed, or these creators are attributed, rightfully so, to what they've created. And the estate gets a little bit of money. Okay? A little bit of money that they were more than due, by the way.
Yeah.
Ditko is the same thing, but the thing with Ditko is those are major characters, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. So the Ditko estate might be a little bit more testy and hold out for a little bit more money. But I think before this really goes, I'm surprised they asked for a summary judgment, because Disney's lawyers must feel that they've got enough in the right to have that in their favor. It'll be real interesting to see, because you don't see comic cases like this actually go to a judgment very often. Majority of the time, Disney or Marvel or DC even, they want that gray area to still stay there because it gives them negotiation room.
I think they're settling for the reason that Disney normally solves this problem like just drowning you with law, you know?
Yeah. Well,
maybe they don't have the budget they used to have.
Yeah, Disney. Well, yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, they still have deep pockets though when they want them. That when they want them, they can pull them out. But the thing with this is, how much is Spider-Man worth? That's the real key. How much is Doctor Strange is really a secondary character compared to Spider-Man, but Sony's literally keeping themselves in profit doing Spider-Man and Spider-Man universe movies, none of which would have existed if Ditko hadn't put in that work and that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Which I'm also wondering, is that part of the reason why they reskin characters? Change their race, change their gender.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the many. Yep. One of the many reasons they're doing that. That's why you have Miles Morales they're trying to put front and center.
Right.
Because
they're trying to make him Spider-Man.
Steve created Peter Parker. Look at how much he looks like Steve Ditko even, but not Miles. Miles is a whole new character.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what they're trying to do there.
So we've seen this happen a lot over the years, and a lot of it's been behind the scenes. Like, for example, there was a while there Superboy wasn't around. Superboy was recreated as Connor Kent and all of this. The death of Captain America is another big one. They killed off Captain America on purpose because that copyright suit was going on. And so he was dead for a little while until they settled. And they settled with Kirby, the estate, and Steve Rogers came back. And even then, they still changed him out with Sam Wilson.
Oh yeah, that's
I don't know if you guys.
I'm gonna pull this for just a second because I gotta sign in so we can read this.
My people is so grateful for Sam.
Sales are down.
In America. Yeah.
Sales are down.
I don't know if you guys saw the. Did you guys see the video that was going around of Christopher Reeve, where he was talking about how, Hollywood really moved away from being a creator industry to being run by lawyers and businessmen. I think you really see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you really do. And they're the ones that are screwing everything up.
Yep.
Let's be real fair.
The thing's like it's their club and they don't want you in it. So.
Yeah.
Sales are down.
But it's not all bad.
Now remember, this is total unit sales of graphic novels in the top 20 were down about 45% year over year, from 317,000 in May to 172,000 in May of 2023. So 2022 versus 2023. Quick glance reveals that 2023 sales have dropped at both the top and the bottom of the charts. So
this is also kind of an example of how you can manipulate statistics.
Yes.
Because 2022 was a big year for comics because a lot of folks couldn't move. A lot of folks couldn't leave their house, so they ordered stuff mail order.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember they were on like week 300 of the 2 weeks.
Yeah, to flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here's some actual numbers. Quantities moved. My Hero Academia moves 27,000 units, and
that's volume 34, by the way. That's volume
34,
34. Yeah.
Demon Slayer. But look, Viz has got them all here.
Yep.
It is. We don't see IDW until down here at the bottom, and that's only because it's this Last Ronin hardcover.
The last
that people are,
turtle story. Yeah.
The last turtle story. And then we got Berserk. Berserk down here for Dark Horse at 6,000 units.
Another great American comic, yeah.
Yep. And then the rest are manga. Oh, and then we got They Called Us Enemy by George Takei.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is that an autobiographical graphic novel?
Kind of,
This sold because of the Star Trek fans out there.
Yeah.
I have no interest in that book whatsoever.
But yeah, it is about his childhood, if I recall correctly. And
yeah.
Oh, that sounds enticing.
I'm sure it's not embellished at all.
Yeah, I'm sure it has nothing to do with him being gay either. And
More than
I'm sure he's
likely
not playing that angle up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One Punch Man.
Yeah, One Punch Man. Obviously, a One Punch Man number 5.
Dude, I mean, I think
25 volume.
I'm not really like a manga fan to no effect. Like I watch like old anime, like
One Piece,
giant manga. But dude, One Punch Man and My Hero Academia is like the Japanese rubbing it in our faces. Like this is how you do superhero comics. You know what I mean? Like they get big sales. Both series are huge, and there is
these numbers are not fantastic.
Yeah,
these numbers are not as big as I thought they should be.
It would be. Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
In quantity, yeah.
Are we at the point where this
poorly
is the only
are U.S. graphic novels doing?
Are we at the point where these are the only things selling because these are the only things you can buy in the stores? Like
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's the Bud Light effect. Like we lost the shelf space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Yeah, I really do think that's part of it. And Bud Light, I like that, the Bud Light effect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and Marvel
they're number
and DC
2. They got
really aren't doing a concerted effort to keep a lot of their reprints in stock because they don't want their old stuff compared to the new stuff.
Oh yeah, because that's sexist.
They just can't have that.
And done by white people, right?
Well, all heroic stories, yeah.
Mass toxic masculinity and all those.
Toxic
exactly
masculinity, yeah. They do it with their members. It's just
that's why they no longer have the Howard properties.
And then they have to pay royalties too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so webtoons are picking up apparently. So how webtoons are changing the comic economy. We're not going to get into too much of this. This guy, I don't really like a lot of his opinions.
You should probably also point out
mostly an opinion guy.
That Webtoons has paid for some advertising on this site as well. So of course Webtoons is doing really good.
It's
it's
Webtoon month actually.
Oh, is
it's actually Webtoon week or something?
Webtoon
on ICV2.
Oh,
so they're actually focusing a lot of their articles
I
are
think
on Webtoons.
June belongs to another group.
Only the first couple days. It's only for about 3 days, and then they forget about it.
They're gonna get in trouble.
Till all the signaling has been completed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do that
And if you don't signal hard enough, they will complain about you.
Yeah, but that doesn't last long.
Yeah,
for at least 15 years, digital. They will. For at least 15 years, digital distribution has represented both threat and promise to the comics economy. It was easy to envision doomsday scenarios of comic book shops going the way of video rental stores or comics themselves being dismembered and demonetized like record albums in the age of Spotify. But whether by luck or circumstance in comics, the digital experience has largely been a positive one, with new platforms attracting new fans, providing new sources of revenue for creators. Let's be honest, the comic shop is kind of going the way of Blockbuster.
It is.
It's on its way, if things don't change.
But I don't remember Blockbuster telling people that if you didn't like the politics of their employees, you're not welcome in the Blockbuster store. So they've kind of shot themselves in the foot by chasing half their customers away, myself included.
There's been a lot of that in a lot of different media.
Yeah, but it's not digital comics that are dealing the blow to retail locations.
Right.
It is crowdfunding. That's what's dealing the blow.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what's doing it.
Yep. Absolutely.
So over the past 5 years, Webtoons, Tapas, and others have invested heavily in replicating that success in North America. Talking about the Webtoon success, the platform there.
And you went to like Korean. Isn't it like a Korean service?
Yeah, K-drama. K-drama television over there. Let me see what else they have. Yeah, Webtoons provided the model for their home market.
On the home market in
South Korea. Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're trying to replicate that here in the U.S. now.
I don't know. I mean, you're reading this article, and all I can hear in my head is the Soviet anthem. Like, I don't know. This sounds very like communist and Russian to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's how he writes, or. But, no.
Yeah. So it's very much that way.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try to get to the point where these platforms are actually making money for people besides the advertisers. New fans, new opportunities. Webtoons have expanded the comics audience by providing an outlet for genres, stories, and creators that were not well served by the traditional print industry, including romantic comedy, slice of life, humor, light fantasy, and various mashups. They've provided a ladder for a more diverse array of aspiring creators to build an audience as they build their skills and offer another employment option for both new and established creators. This is all an unmitigated good. So let me ask anyone I know who actually makes money on Webtoons. Like, what would the page rate be on what you make on your Webtoon? Because we're going to read some tweets that say that there's not a lot of money in Webtoons.
I mean, I have a student of mine that has a Webtoon that has like tens of thousands of followers. So it's not that much, but he's not seeing that much money. Like, he still needs to work for a living, like for real. Like, he draws it by night. So I don't know if I get 10,000 people buying my book, I'm only doing comic books, So I don't know. I don't like this model.
Yeah, so Webtoons are infusing the creator economy. If you've been online over the weekend, you've probably seen the trending hashtag #ComicsBrokeMe, where creators are sharing stories of the financial hardships and other hassles they've had to endure trying to keep afloat as comics professionals. This is an unfortunate, long-standing issue of the industry, and the only real solution in companies spending more money, not something companies struggling in the trenches love to do. The new platform, especially ones backed by deep pockets, parent companies, investments, and tech industry valuations, tend to be willing to spread money around to bid for the services of established creators as a way to break into the market. Even if those rates and policies prove unsustainable in the long run, they can force incumbents to compete harder to keep the talent happy. This is more industry speak, and this is basically the people that broke comics and did the reason why Comics Broke Me is a thing. They're trying to go in and break Webtoons too, and it's working. It's going to work. I think it's going to work.
Dude,
Speaking of people,
this is like, I stepped on a rake, let me look for another rake. Like, dude, working for big companies is not worthy for the artist. Let's look for another big company. It's like, dude, stop, please.
Randy, can you read this one for me?
Holy crap, they're getting better.
Yeah.
In positive news, IDW Publishing lost around 200,000 in declining sales in its fiscal second quarter. Ended April 30th, 2023. An improvement from the 300,000 loss in quarter 2 of 2022.
Sorry. Sorry.
We're using real cheese now, not canned cheese. Yeah.
Here's how we spin it, folks. They're ahead. They're getting better. They're getting better.
We're losing less, guys.
They lost less money, but it's still under 200,000.
We're still a contender. We're losing less.
Thank God, it's less than $250,000. Whew. According to IDW Media Holdings Q2 release, the Q1 loss though was $335,000. See, IDW Publishing losses $335,000. Did they point out in here that they had a massive drop in employment between that? Anyway,
that saved their money.
And probably that's
what was it? 39 different employees got let go.
Yep. That's probably that difference. Salaries. Right there. Salaries. Yep. IDW publishing sales 1.9 million, down from 2.3 million in a year ago quarter. A decline the company attributed to a difference in sales to Scholastic. The company's entertainment division had no meaningful sales.
Imagine that.
The company-wide loss was 1.9 million. Oh, that's that must have been just the publishing side loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the company-wide loss was 1.9 million, an improvement from the 2.3 million loss in the year ago period. There was no reason. There was no mention of a reserve or expenses related to a major downsizing around the end of April. Those costs and eventual savings have presumably not hit the operating statement yet. Well, we'll get those in the next quarter. They'll look even better then. They'll be losing.
Yeah, they're going to lose 100,000.
Yeah. Well, probably more like 173,000 somewhere.
Yeah.
The loss for the first half of the fiscal year is 3.9 million. You know, if I had 3.9 million for Arrow Comics, you know what kind of a company we would have?
My gosh, we'd be a powerhouse.
Crap. We would be a powerhouse.
Oh my gosh, this is.
But would you be able to say you lost 200,000 and be happy about it, Randy?
No, not at all. Not at all. I would never be happy and never be boasting that my company lost $200,000.
Oh my God!
We are going to see some tweets now.
These guys, man.
The reason why I wanted to read that one before we brought this up is Heather Antos made her presence known in this Comics Broke Me hashtag when she is very, very much part of the problem, my friends.
So I want to point out, sorry to interrupt you, but I want to point out that Heather Antos is always around when there's negativity in this industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just my opinion.
She's a common denominator.
If you look it up, you'll see that I'm right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She is in every backroom Discord, Facebook group, Whisper network that there is. In fact, I remember when they said there's no Whisper network, and then they broke it that there was a Whisper network because somebody got in it and blew it wide open.
Is that like the government saying there's no UFOs?
Yeah, and now they're like, yeah, there's UFOs. So
anyway,
check. So I've got a number of tweets that I saved here.
Oh yeah.
That I just wanted to cover, and just kind of let us talk about this. So today's title in episode 69, nice, is hashtag Comics Broke Me and Making Real Change, and. Oh, I think what we saw, pardon my French, over the course of the last week is just one massive bitch fest with no intention on changing anything. They just want people to be like, oh, poor you. Whenever anybody attempted to do anything, like give any kind of advice to say, hey, this is, educate yourselves, get better at business, get better at marketing, and kind of go out on your own and do this thing. You don't have to be beholden to these publishers. They literally canceled a guy yesterday over those statements. Exactly.
John Talk.
Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler
and I don't get to agree all the time, but
somebody actually made a Discord server asking, or that said that I want to make this server in order to help people. I want to make this server so that we can type in with suggestions and help people along and guide them along to a more sense of positivity.
Did you know? Well, there were Comicsgate people in there.
Yeah. That's right. They're not there now.
Well, there were Comicsgate people in there.
You know what I think that was all about?
Comicsgate.
It's because
right, but
Ethan
I think that they were
everyone over there.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've closed the Discord off to accept. You can't just join it; you have to be accepted in. and it's just become part of that whisper network that everybody talks about.
Yeah. What was that, Craig? You were saying something.
Sorry.
So what I think was going on was whoever originated this hashtag originally wanted to network with other comics, like people begging for scraps, and seeing if all the beggars for scraps could get together and have an influence on the big industry. And lo and behold, Heather Antos shows up because, union buster, right? That's what you got to do, is break any effort by any starving artist to organize. And then, as you were saying, and then lo and behold, a couple comic skaters jumped into her. I think her first rebuttal was talking about CG right away, because they don't like independence and freedom.
Well, the CGers in that group didn't even talk about that. Someone brought up a viable option for print on demand for creators, and they were like, "Well, isn't that ran by?" I don't know what service they were talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know if they were talking about. I don't know. They might have been talking about mine for all that matters, but I don't know which one they were talking about. But they were like, "Isn't that like?" She was like, "Well, isn't that ran by someone in Comicsgate?" And they're like, "And what's it matter if it is? Like, utilize the service, my friends. You don't have to be beholden to this stuff." But she immediately made it about Comicsgate and got everyone that was associated with Comicsgate kicked out of that server. And then that guy promptly blocked everyone because he's just another one of the mainstream simps out there.
Well, the Discord is now private. You have
it's
to
now
ask
private.
to be on. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be really honest with you. They are just fighting over a spot at the... What's that, Craig?
Doing her bidding, right? She's just there to remind everyone that, hey, if you work with anyone even slightly attached to CG, you will be exiled. Right?
Yeah, really.
Exiled from what?
But the problem is these people are looking at the exile and they're like, hey, that's pretty nice, right? It's like what happened in Australia. It was a prison colony, and now people are like, you know what? I think I want to visit there.
It's kind of sunny, and there's a lot of fish.
Yeah,
they're making money.
Yeah, they're having fun.
Well, somebody had to go on and virtue signal last night and say that they weren't Comicsgate because they were trying to sell a book, and in a moment of desperation, they used the Comicsgate hashtag to try to sell a couple of books. Then they had to go back and retract all of that yesterday. And it was quite embarrassing, to be honest. And, just stop, but yeah. So yeah, they're doing her bidding in there. If they would break loose from those things, they would be able to make money. They would be happy. Look, I've never worked for the mainstream. I never intend to, but I do comic books full time. The other day I slept 3 hours. I slept 3.5 hours because I was trying to get some work done. It's not because comics broke me. It's because I'm running my own business, and I am the one in charge of my livelihood. And if I want to get paid, I have to work hard.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Mouths to feed.
I got mouths to feed. Yeah.
The best comics broke me story out of all is from what I call now Lord Billy Tucci. When he did that tweet, like, comics broke me out of poverty. And I want to thank comic books. Dude,
I think I have his saved in here.
And he had like a Scottish kilt, and he's like in a Victorian with a Victorian like hall with a glass of whiskey. Dude, it was a mess for brokers. This is just whining. You created this environment when it's impossible for you to make money. You're making books nobody wants. You see it in the sales. It's like, no, it's your problem as a customer. You should accept me. What I mean, with that attitude, it's a miracle they're still doing this. You know what I mean? It's just, dude, stop.
Look, people say like, well, why are you going after? Comicsgate just goes after Heather Antos all the time. No, she starts it.
Yeah,
she starts it.
She's picking on me.
Yeah, she starts it. She goes. No one brought up CG in that Discord but her. She's the one who wasn't allowing this service. And the thing is, I think even the service was, they were just CG friendly. They didn't care. It was like, whatever, like, you do you do what you want to do. You do you, but make comics and make money doing it. Use the service. They're capitalist, for crying out loud. My gosh, do I love capitalism.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to rearrange this
But they got to keep the
little bit
narrative
here
that
so we can read
CG's
these.
bad and CG's evil and CG's all really bad people and they're all the ist and faux words. And if you go anywhere near them, you're out of the group and you're no longer, you know what I mean? So it's just keeping up.
No
the same.
matter what
And
race you
people
are, you're a
don't
white
wake up and
supremacist.
realize
Right.
That's the other
Hatred
one.
most
oppression.
of
It's
all.
just another form of oppression. But what was interesting to me about that hashtag, sorry to keep going on, was reading people's stories of like I went 80 pages in and I was drawing 3 pages a day, 16 hours a day, and when I finished the book I was never paid, and I'm like, what are you doing? Spending
bad business,
6
man.
months working on a book, and that's your fault for not coming up with a better. Like, I would never work for 3 months for someone without a paycheck. That's insanity to me, but that's just me.
Why would you want to be in
that
Discord?
explains all the GoFundMe's and like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't pay rent. I need groceries. Like, I need to buy some Cheerios. It's like, dude, you're an adult. That's called begging.
Right.
I love
begging.
Russ here. Russ says, I'm not CG. I'm not anti-CG. I effing make comics and want people to enjoy my books.
That's
and I will
right.
never put anyone under the bus because they have a different opinion from me. There's no point in purity testing your fans.
No.
What's the point in that?
Nope.
I don't get that whole idea that, oh, you can't let these people be your fan because they have wrong think. That's so stupid.
Painting
It's
and creating.
Fear and
It's
control.
so
Fear
stupid.
and control.
That's
So-
it exactly. Yep.
Fear and control. So here's one by Jeremy Fuscaldo's on strike and taking commissions. The worst part about trying to get a job is that you lose friends along the way. You get rejected by peers, mess up, and told not to take it personal while you slave away trying to get sustainable income only to realize it's not enough. It's a cruel industry. Comics broke me. Look, I saw where that was going. I was working with some of these people they're fighting over a spot at the teat of that bloated cow. And I said, no. I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. And I went strictly independent at that point and said, I'm going to make comics. I'm going to do it on my own terms. And I may never draw Batman or Ninja Turtles, but who cares at this point? In fact, I was told not too recently, I mean, actually fairly recently, not too long ago, that I should try out. And like, oh, you've got the chops. You could probably draw this book. And I said, no, I've got CG connections. Yep. And he goes, oh, no, you can't draw that then. They won't let you.
Those hate groups won't let you in.
Yeah. He said, no, they won't let you in.
Nope.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, it was connected to IDW. He goes, yeah, no, you definitely won't be able to work there.
Way
I said,
back
I
when,
want to.
way back when, 1985, I got offered an internship at Marvel. And I always, to an extent, I always regretted not taking them up on it. But I made the mistake of asking the person who was offering me the internship what it paid. And they told me, and I literally laughed in their face. I was going through a divorce at the time. I was an emotional wreck to start with. But when they told me it was $9,000 and I'd have to move to New York City, $9,000 a year.
Ouch.
A year?
A year,
No.
yeah. I literally laughed in his face.
Yeah.
Literally. I said, no way. I ain't doing that. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Dude, not even in Latin America would you do that.
I had people that had arranged for that offer to come my way too that didn't talk to me for a few years after that.
Well, yeah. They put their neck out on the line for
that
you.
guy's face, and he was pretty pissed that I did so.
Well,
But,
how dare you reject the plan, the
The
program?
crumbs, yeah.
the longer,
dare you?
the older I got, the less I regretted it. But after reading all of these wonderful comics broke me hashtag posts, I don't regret it at all.
How dare you, Randy? Those were perfectly good crumbs.
I'm sitting here going, you're getting that much a page from that studio?
Yeah.
Cool.
So John Apple says, for being such a hateful people, CGers have been some of the most helpful or even friendly people I've met in comics. And I love it when you get somebody who's not in the CG realm says the same thing. I have to say that you're correct. I have indeed met many good people in publishing, but the CGers I've interacted with have been polite and respectful and helpful. Because we're happy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God,
and we know it.
Happier.
So we clap our hands.
Yeah.
Yep. But we're enjoying the fruits of our labors. That's
Yep.
what it is. And we're not letting
Yeah.
a corporation tell us that we get slave wages for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
All
And
right,
Well, that's what happens when they build up this straw man that, like, this is a hate group full of ists and phobes.
yeah.
But the minute anyone looks past the veil and says, you know what, I'm actually going to look and see who these people are. You spend one day over here. Wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. This community
And the
is
things
more
like
diverse than people saying this community. This is completely BS. It's a lie.
Dude, the things that they want to have a straw man, but the straw man were their customers, and that's something that I will never understand.
Yeah. The bad guy here is the customer. They're making less money because people are buying less books. And it's like, well, they're buying less books because you're producing worse material. You're destroying the characters they love instead of making new ones. You're spending money suing these states. Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, they created it. No, I was gonna say, and then what few people do love comics, they're ending up coming over to indie because they love comics so much and they hate what they've done. And it's like, no, I'm gonna go over here instead. So you're driving away your customers, you're throwing away your customers, you're destroying your IPs, you're creating garbage, you're not giving the customers what they want. I mean, if you wanted to make all the wrong business moves possible, that's what the mainstream's doing.
Yep. So here on this, here on this connection, or on this this tweet here. So this one, this Elise says, I need publishers to understand the responsibility they have for the mental and physical well-being of the people who work on their books. This industry won't survive and thrive if it continues to chew up promising talent and spit them out as tired and burnt out and tired afterwards. The response here, this was a quote tweet. Last year, I went to a massage therapist after finishing a mini-series, and the therapist said there was so much scar tissue in my forearm built up from overwork. There were muscles that weren't moving with the rest of my arm, basically stuck in place. Comics broke me. Okay, I got a lot to say about that one. That is, look, your basic health, get up and move, flex.
And unfortunately, well, I hate to break it to the person, but that's not the publisher's fault.
No, that's their fault.
Not their publisher's responsibility.
No, it's not.
And you accepted that contract to start with.
Yep.
You accepted to do that kind of work for that kind of price. It's up to you to either get it done or get a bad rep in the business.
I would venture to say that they probably undershot their normal page rate in order to get that job.
Maybe. Probably now.
Like, well, I'll do it for this. I get people that do that for me, for indies. It's like, look, my page rate's $100, but I'll do it for I'll do it for $60. And I'm like, dude, that's $40 off your page rate. Can you actually honestly do that and put all of your heart into this work and not be resentful?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know what my page rate is. It keeps going up. And I'm happy for, I'm happy at the work I'm doing. And what on earth is that?
Sorry. Like I said, I'm having my kitchen floor refinished as we speak. So,
all right. So that's funny.
I'll keep it. I'll try to keep it muted when they're cutting. So there we go.
Yeah, it's not their responsibility. You're the one that makes the choice on what contracts you take. And all right. So here's one from KG Comics. We've waited 2 decades for the perfect moment when we can fully devote ourselves to comics. We dreamed and believed that one day this would be the main thing of our lives, and we could make a living from it. Today, all we can do is a few pages a week for free. Comics broke me. Bad business. All I'm hearing here is we don't know how to start a business.
The naivete here is just amazing.
Yep.
Because these folks have no concept of what the business is, what the business has been about, where the business is compared to where it was. And it's just, on one part, it's dismaying, and I hate to sound this cruel, but on other parts, it's really kind of entertaining.
A little bit, yeah. Here's another one. This one's from Lewis NCT. The biggest red flag in comics is when anyone argues that marketing is authors' business instead of publishers. That's only true when we talk about self-publishing. No, it's not. I just read a well-known writer saying marketing works like that, and that's part of the problem comics broke me. Now, the problem is that people want to make money and sit back and not be invested in the work that they're producing, whether it's Batman or anything else. You have to be invested in what you're doing, and you have to try to be sellable. You have to try to help that sell. Every time I worked for any company, I went in and collected a paycheck, but I also had to promote that company. I had to sell that thing. It was understood that I was going to help market the things that I was a part of. Understood. Even the things that I am just the letterer on, I help market. Go ahead.
But they used to also treat their artists and writers like rock stars, which also is another reason why this mentality set in, right? Like we used to, like all the big names that stand out. Find a name in the last 10 years that you recognize in comics besides like, I don't know, Tom King or, you know, I mean, that's about, like, there really isn't anyone anymore. So they built this reputation that just the IP's brand name on its own can carry itself. And nobody that's working on the project, they could all just be anonymous, I guess. I think
but that's another concept that needs to die, man. That concept of the rock star. Rock stars are not rock stars anymore. That concept of, oh, you're here and you're doing Batman, but you're gonna pay $30 a page. All I hear is you're getting paid $30 a page. I don't care if they give me Spider-Man, Ant-Man, whomever. If it's $30 a page, I won't do it because I have chickens to feed. Okay? And that's the thing, like that rock, yeah, and that's the rock star element of I'm doing Spider-Man, and then they get like flashed with this lights of glamour or whatever. Dude, it's like you're a plumber. You're working with power tools. You draw. This is a job, and a job has to be profitable or don't do it.
And it's always been corporate mentality to get the work done as cheaply as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's always been, and there's not that much money left in comics, or at least in the direct market side of comics anymore.
Camilla Zhang says, been hesitant to participate in Comics Broke Me, mostly because I'm tired. I don't know if I feel broken because I feel so numb to it all. This is an industry issue and also a larger societal one, in which the arts are devalued and executives hoard wealth because of the corporate hierarchy system. Now, this one I actually agree with. This is one that, like, ding, 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 ring the bell for her, because here is the problem. The corporations are intentionally pushing people back down into the crab bucket. It's like, let me find the most talented crab and I will throw them in a new crab bucket. That's what's happening here. Well, we keep talking about trying to get out of the indie crab bucket and go into the mainstream. People are getting taken from one bucket and put to the next, and the fisherman is still pushing the crabs back down so that they can utilize them the way they want to. And that's why this art form has not been respected in America the way it is in other countries.
I need a shower now.
The thing that really astonishes me is that people get into this business without knowing the history of the business.
Yeah.
So you go back and look all the way since the start of comics, the creators have always been treated as third and fourth class citizens.
Because have you noticed that we are in agreement with Comrade Sang?
Yeah, no,
is that sinking in? Tovarish Camila Zan?
Yeah.
Made a point we agree with. Oh my God.
I don't know how to see her yet because, you know, she did extend that olive branch at one point to EVS. I don't know if you remember that. I think she was trying to get people over to Zoop. I think that was why it had more to do with that.
Yep,
but she was part of the problem. So it's like
she's part of the problem. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's funny that they, you know, that a lot of the, and we're going to get to now we're starting to get into the fun tweets here. Mm-hmm. So hashtag comics broke me. Stanley Kids Media offered me $0 for all rights to my self-published book, Weird Kids. Their current contract also stipulated that I might be asked to do promo art and make changes to the book for free.
Oh, heaven forbid.
Heaven forbid. Yes? Look, we're doing an anthology that is an advertisement for every creator that's in it. and we're like, look, we're all going to work, and we're not going to get paid off of this project. That's not what this is for. It's for promotion. We're not making money. We're spending money to show off what we got, but it's a publication. We can say, look, we can point to actually published work, and it's going to be good enough to be published and something you can be proud of. So we're working on it. That's what we're doing. Guess what? You got to take some risk like that, no matter where you're at. If your chance of getting seen is Stanley's kids, then man, I guess that's what you invest your advertising dollars into. I don't know.
Wes at Thinking Critical has done an excellent video on this, especially on that last tweet on how you should have said no.
Mm-hmm. You just say no.
Just say no.
You said no.
Yeah.
If they'd have told me to do that, I'd have said no.
I didn't just say
really
no.
Important
though. I was young, and it was, the guy took it as a really hardcore insult because he was Marvel.
Right. They start wearing that badge. I'm Marvel. They start thinking, they start thinking they're awesome, right? Like they've got some power over you. And when you take that power away, it pisses them off. It really does.
It's that rockstar mentality. Everybody wants to be Gene Simmons, and it's just not the case.
So here's Heather Antost inserting herself into the conversation. She says, and this doesn't just go for hired talent. As an assistant editor, I would sign vouchers for talent who made more for a single issue than Marvel would pay me a whole year. So it turns out we kind of learn what her annual pay is. So
she doesn't do anything. Yeah, that's
right. It's why a lot of folks do work in video games versus comics. I once edited a 10-page comic for Destiny and got $5,000, literally 1/6 of what Marvel paid me for a year. Okay, what's that? $30,000 she made a year working at Marvel? She still got overpaid.
Yeah.
Yep.
She still got overpaid.
$5,000 for a 10-page comic? What?
How much you got paid for Arpel O'Neil? That's my question.
Oh, yeah, let's find that out. Peter Krause is saying, let me add, my page rate went down between my first, the Eisner-nominated Daredevil, Road Warrior, and second job at Marvel, went down 20%. Ahoy Comics pays me better than Marvel. Here, let me say this. We are making, in the industry, we're making books to impress our peers, not our fans. Mm-hmm. Right? So we're worried about that Eisner, right? All that means is you impressed your peers. It doesn't mean anything about the fans liking it. What were the sales numbers on Daredevil Road Warrior? Let's look at that. Exactly. How much profit did that make? You're not going to make... They're going to pay you based on what the profit's going to be. You're going to get royalties based off what profits are, not what you think you should deserve, like what you should get. The problem is many of these people, they do not understand business. They don't even bother taking a business class going into this.
There's a big expression out there in the business field. Anybody that's done business for a while will eventually run across it that says you're paid what you're worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's
that simple.
Taylor Esposito.
We need some new awards, man. Something that's very like the David Rockefeller Real Sales at Comics Awards, where people are like, how many units you sold? How much money you made? Those are the two awards, and that's
Tell me about your units.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me about your unit. What you packing?
Hold on, I'll play the clip for you.
Do it.
I'll play the clip for you.
That's what she said!
Yes. Tell me about your units. This guy says, I'm good at what I do. I love what I do. I teach others what I do, and I don't want to do anything else. I do, however, need to get paid well and have better deadlines for me to make a good living in this shithole country. I need to do about 600 pages a month. Comics broke me. I need to do.
Wait.
This guy's got a bad attitude to start with. If he feels that way, he's in the wrong country.
Yeah. Can you go? No, that guy, I think that's the Argentinian flag. Now, right now, Argentina is going in a 60-year crisis where the peso is like 0.014 pesos for
but they voted for that.
The dollar. Yeah, they voted for that.
They voted for socialism, and they're paying for it now.
Yeah. No, the thing is like if you
this is what America can look forward to.
No, but look, check this out. If you make money in dollars, and you live in Argentina, and you have a way to get those dollars there, you live like a king with $500. So I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Yeah.
600 pages a month.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about either. David Lasky says, 10 years ago, my graphic novel won the Eisner Award. Why have I not created a follow-up book? Well, after finishing our book, my co-author and I were broke. I went back to work for a bakery. My co-author was homeless for a while. Our graphic novel didn't make us royalties. But did it sell? You impressed your...
Exactly.
These people don't get it.
You won the popularity contest.
Can we make a list of like broken Eisner Award winners?
Yeah. So Wells Thompson also doesn't understand the crowdfunding game. Comics broke me when a successful Kickstarter nearly bankrupted me because despite making $12,000 over twice our goal, I had only a few $100s left over when it was all said and done. Bad business.
No.
Look.
That's not comics' fault.
That's not comics' fault. That's your fault. Comics didn't break you. You broke you because you didn't understand. Look, Craig was about to have the same problem, weren't you, Craig? He was about to have the same deal. And I was like, you're going to pay too much for printing. Oh, I said,
right.
I said,
yes.
You were about to have the same problem where you were going to be bankrupt, where it was going to cost you more money than what you made.
Yeah.
I said, no. Let me help you with that.
Yeah. So in order to get my prices per unit, like with the printing company, I would have had to pay an exorbitant amount of money. I would have round up with a couple thousand copies of my books in order for the price per unit to be profitable. Yeah, that was insanity. And definitely, Luke, again, thank you for that because I saved thousands of dollars.
You can make independent comic books profitable selling to 500 fans a year. I'm telling you, if you have a solid fan base of 500 people, you can have a decent living making comic books. That's all you need.
What it takes, though, it takes the effort to bother to look, to understand the market, to understand what print on demand is all about, and to be able to gauge your pricing in these crowdfunding campaigns correctly to absorb it.
Yep. And so let's shine the light on manga for a little bit here. So here's a guy named Agawa Buruku. He goes, in my 20s in Japan, I was lucky enough to land an editor at Shonen Magazine. Excuse me.
Shonen, yeah.
He saw my potential, and I worked so hard for him. But the way it works in Japan, you don't see a dime until your work is in an anthology, etc. I worked for over a year with him. Comics broke me.
That's paying his dues, baby. What are you talking about,
Agawa? And we talk about how great manga does. Yeah. We talk about how great manga does and how all that stuff is. Yeah. That's what people want. They're like, well, let's try to get to those levels of sales. Well, you're going to do a lot of work for free just to get in the magazine. That's what you're going to try to do. And
that's got to be a fake name.
It has to be.
Could I just say something about the awards? Because there aren't really any creative industries where awards mean more money.
Yeah.
I mean, in Hollywood, you can absolutely bomb and then win like 5 Oscars, and there's just no relationship between the two.
Yeah. It's just...
Well, way back
I don't know why
when
I skipped ahead so far.
The Harveys and the Eisners used to mean it wasn't sales; it was accomplishments. They were high points in the industry to note that somebody had done something in order to help the industry along. Now it's just a popularity contest, right?
Yeah.
All of those awards are just sad popularity contests. Nobody, again here we're seeing this all over and over again with people using this hashtag. They have a total, complete disrespect for the art form and a lack of understanding about how this business works and how it's supposed to go and how you're supposed to work in it. It's sad to see all these people using this hashtag and whining when the majority of the time it's their responsibility. It's their fault they're in the situation they're in. And they won't take that responsibility because that's the kind of people that they are.
Can you imagine their fans too reading this stuff? They're looking at these comic broke me hashtag after like their second job, covered in like dirt and grime from like taking out the garbage for the 50th time at the restaurant, like, and their kids crying on the phone. Their wife is like leaving them for a lawyer or something. These people are ridiculous. Like, it just
I think I left a quote where you allow yourself to be treated like a doormat, expect to get walked all over.
Yeah,
you're stiff. Talk about your stiff forearm to my dad, who had a bad back from leaning over cars his entire life. Can
you get a ding?
Screw you, man. Yeah, look, I get to sit in this chair and draw. I can't physically do much else. But God, I'm so thankful. Comics saved me. Look, if I didn't have comics and I didn't have the fans that are out there and the people that are out there that like my work enough to pay me to do this, my family would be hungry and I would be homeless.
Yep.
What would I do without comics? Comics freaking saved me.
Yep.
You guys broke this thing and now you're bitching about it. You broke it. We didn't break it. You broke it. Now you're complaining about it.
So I've been using the hashtag comics saved me.
Imagine if they kept all the IPs with the original IPs and told creative, new, exciting stories with creative new villains and new story arcs. Didn't tell half the customers to F off. They kept it exciting just like it used to be. And everyone was welcome to buy the books. Then the money would be flowing and the books would be flowing and everyone would be happy.
Speaking of creative and new,
but they'll have no
comics broke me from trying to break in. I saw the writing on the wall and went indie in 2005. Found other ways to provide income alongside making comics. Back my Violent Mermaid.
Back my Violent Mermaid book. Amen.
Yep.
AR13L.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yep. Let me see. We got some more good ones in here like that.
They're pretty close to 10K, aren't they?
Yeah.
Very close. We'll show them in here in just a minute.
Yeah, dude. I'm so happy for it. Like, there's several Fund My Comics campaigns that are over 10K now. It's really good.
Gabe Hernandez says, what reading the comics broke me story has shown me about comics industry. 1, too many publishers ruthlessly take advantage of creators with empty promises and shady contracts. And 2, too many comic creators are financially illiterate and make really stupid decisions.
Yeah. Bing.
Valerie D'Orazio says, saw somebody on my Facebook using the comics broke me hashtag who I know for an absolute fact was involved in some of these messed up indie pub deals. He made the entire focus on his post on CG, took not one iota of responsibility.
Yep.
Comics broke me 10 years ago. My graphic novel. We've already read that one. I like this one. Andy Smith, comics broke me out of the mindset that I was going to work for Marvel or DC until I retire, like I imagined I would when I broke into the business 32 years ago. And I say thank you, because I'm now creating my own stuff. I love comic books and always will.
Go Andy.
Hashtag CG. All right, here's another. This is one of 8. I don't think we'll read that. We need to move along.
Crystal's got a lot to say. 1 of 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Eric July.
Eric July? For real? Or
reading the tweets. Reading the tweets from my comics broke me hashtag, and seeing how many of these guys are pros with awards or nominations reiterates the point that I keep making. Stop doing work to impress your peers, especially if you want to eat.
Yep.
Bingo. Comics broke me has been trending. That can be true. That can't be true. I've been told many times that comics are booming.
Yeah.
Look at those great examples of fine comics.
Yeah,
that are being made right now.
Why would people walk away from all that awesomeness?
Can't get over. Sorry, I'm laughing at the cell phone. You have the cracked cell phone one still with the horrible face. This is something about men. Men.
I don't know. Yeah, inconsistency. Just a across the board. Thor Odinson has a couple of good ones here. Comics broke me out of a world of being glued to the TV and taught me to love reading. Thanks to comics, I grew up devouring books of all kinds, paleontology, history, Sherlock Holmes, etc. And as I got older, I started reading Shakespeare, Sidney, Spencer, and he lists the whole other ones. And just as a reminder that everyone using the Comics Broke Me hashtag, ironically, is more than likely a gigantic piece of crap who has on one or more occasions actively attempted to harm the economic well-being of their colleagues in the field, and don't deserve 1 ounce of pity.
There's a lot of backstabbing and whispering behind backs. I definitely see it.
It's unwarranted. That's the thing. Allow people to do what they're gonna do. It doesn't really affect you. Like, it's not like if somebody buys a comic and he has the funds and likes your comic, he's gonna buy it too. It's not like an either or thing. You know what I mean? And they just see it like that. Like, like the customer only has enough money for one comic and it should be mine. It's like,
but even with that high school drama, if you do get in a situation where someone comes up to you and whispers, "Hey, so and so said something so and so about you," don't listen to it. Just go to the source directly and ask them. Like, this is the internet. Your phone isn't going to hurt you. Hey, someone said you had a problem with me. Would you like to discuss? I've done that already a few times and sorted out a lot of that nonsense.
Yeah, Craig and I had a conversation about that. There was something that was brought up, and I went directly to the person, like, let's clear this up. Because that's what men do. That's what adults do. So Rich, here's the problem. They see the problem, but they refuse to think there's a way out of it. So regarding Comics Broke Me, unionizing or any kind of collective action, if possible at all, is a long way off. Maybe the most important thing you can do as an individual creator, though, is to hire a lawyer to look over your contracts before you sign them. Or maybe educate yourself so you don't have to hire the lawyer, because that's more money. Why don't you understand how contract law works? Why don't you understand how time versus dollars work? Understand if this is a net 30, a net 15, and understand what those phrases mean. If you do not understand basic business concept, you shouldn't be a freelance contractor. Shouldn't be. They're probably not even paying their taxes. I love this one. Comics broke me out of poverty almost 30 years ago. Thank you, comics, for all allowing me to marry the girl of my dreams, raise a family, and take care of relatives in a way I could never have dreamed. God bless you fans and funny books. Hashtag no more. Hashtag I love comics.
I love the
Amen. Tucci.
Look at that. Lord Tucci going at
Look at that guy.
Yeah,
in his kilt.
I love that. Andy and Billy, somebody must have been talking to each other, because both of those tweets rock.
You just hear like backpipe music and like doing like a whole
let me talk about this for a second. Let me find it. So Tyler Carpenter, we don't always see eye to eye, and I kind of fit in with this guy right here, with Anthony Fowler Jr., Heroes Con Table. He goes, no, not this guy. Where is he at? This guy, right? Donald Anderson. It says, Tyler and I have philosophical differences, but he's been nothing but good to me and you by sharing his knowledge. The fact people did this to him, and what they're talking about is this. This is an account I have muted. So I got canceled, he said. The last 24 hours have been insane. These last 24 hours have resulted in me getting harassed and mobbed, losing my publishing deal, and more. So I've come out of retirement of indie comics to do the following 2 things. And he has this list of things that he's done. So basically what happens was he responded to the hashtag Comics Broke Me by saying, you need to learn how to market, you need to learn business, and you need to step out and do this thing on your own and not be beholden to the publishers. Yeah. And these crabs canceled him for that.
He did it early. He did it early into the hashtag, though, before everyone jumped on. So the first people were having the pity party. Poor me, poor me. He offended the poor me crowd. So obviously they went out and networked with whoever he was collaborating with, and he hurt my feelings. And then, but now that the hashtag's blown up, I don't think it's as
Look,
strong.
I know his collaborator. I know his collaborator, and I don't trust his collaborator. Randy knows his collaborator too. This guy tends to be on the periphery of many things gone wrong since I've come into the indie comic scene in 2015. When I came in 2015, he wasn't here. In 2020, he came in and said that he was here since 2015 or something like that, and gave all kinds of claims, and I never even heard of the guy.
Was this around in 2015?
And Randy can tell you this because Randy's been around way longer than I've been around.
I'm an old man.
He's an old guy out doing there. And so as soon, I didn't even know who his collaborator was.
That's not funny. That's not funny. Anyway, okay.
I said,
I apologize.
I appreciate it. I'm offended.
I'm offended.
Randy remembers when you would draw comics from both sides of the book.
I remember not being able to move. That's what I remember.
He would start at the back and go to the front. Yeah,
that's right. That's how you ink. Anyway, back to
it
front.
was uphill both ways. That's
Uphill in the snow both ways.
Oh my
I'm
God.
drawing
In a trailer.
In a trailer.
I've been homeless. Heck yeah. I know all about that.
Welcome to the
Yeah,
I lived
so
out of the back of a comic shop for a few years.
Ooh.
yeah, so in fact, before I knew who his collaborator was, I said, hey, if this guy's name is involved, then I guarantee there's some snaky stuff going on behind the scenes. And I found out this morning that that's who his collaborator was.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my, I called that.
Shocker.
See, yeah, because well, here's the thing. You can see I had, I'm not unfriendly with Tyler, but he does have a tendency to exude. He goes out and he gives his opinion a lot of times about business, and it's very helpful for people. I understand that. It can be helpful for some people, but I don't believe that there's a cookie cutter way for people to be successful. And I think that every business is unique and every individual is unique. And I like to take that kind of approach to find out what works for everybody. Tyler does not take that kind of approach.
It's that way in real business, though. Nobody's path to success is the same.
Exactly right.
The same. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
You can be successful to an extent, but you're never going to be as successful as the person who blazed the trail.
Yeah.
I mean, the successful one is the one who understands his toolbox. And that's the thing. Like everybody has a different toolbox, and you have to play to your strengths. That's how you become a success. This is going to be as big as anybody else's. That's a bad way to see it, because you must compete against yourself. You can't live your life looking at what other people are doing, because you're just going to be like, why did Eric July or whatever? Why did Ethan? Like, dude, that's no way to live. Really, no. Like, you're just going to be angry, and then you're going to choke your wife. Stop.
Yeah, right. Kick your dog. So I have this tendency that, I understand how social media works, and that, if I was sitting down and have a conversation with somebody, it'd go a lot different than in social media. So I understand if I'm going to comment on something on social media, if I'm going to be compelled to, that's probably going to be taken the wrong way because you don't get tone or context within those conversations. I'll just mute so that I don't see it, so that I don't comment.
Yep.
So I stay out of it. That's healthy because I got work to do. I got actual pages to draw. So someone saying, name names, Luke. I'm not going to name names.
The stuff that happened to Tyler is recent then, huh?
This is yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Like I said, right when the hashtag was first trending, his mistake, honestly, was just that his opinion was early. If he waited a day for that opinion, it would not have affected him. It's because he literally followed the cascade of pity me, poor me, wah, wah, wah. And he was the very first one to say, hey, look, guys, you're being
And his
doormats.
partner is spineless and his partner has no backbone. Has weak
So they
knees.
basically said, F you, we're going to commit torturous interference and get you out of your publishing deal.
Yeah.
Basically,
hurt our
that's what it
feelings.
is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he still thinks he's friends with this guy. I tried to be friends with that guy for a while. I thought I was friends with him for a while.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, I realized I started actually looking at what was happening on the periphery and what was happening at the back and how my professional relationships were being affected by what he was saying to people behind my back. Then I realized that this guy's not my friend. He's just a crab. Like, hashtag comics broke me out of my naivety to think that everyone's on your team. No, they're not. They not everyone. Most people just want to exploit you as an asset. And so when I saw this, I was like, look. So yeah, I don't always agree with Tyler's methods, but the thing is, he does tend to play with matches while sitting in kerosene. And that's what he did in this situation. He said what we were all thinking. But to a certain group of people, but it's not, and not even, he wasn't even rude about it, but he said it to a group of people that are kerosene. He's in the midst of these people that are volatile, and they're crabs. They're upset and they're disgruntled and they're pissed off about their lives and situations. And he just lit the match right there, and it literally caught on fire for him. And that's why it's really important on who you spend time around and who you allow in your circles. And so I have a tendency to be very, very selective of that these days, because I understand that I have a tendency to play with fire.
Can I throw in a hashtag uncancelable? It's really important.
Yeah.
Hashtag uncancelable. Oh, I forgot my camera. Yeah, I have a tendency to play with fire.
I'm not one of the loveliest of guys, so I just stay quiet. You know what I mean? Like I really, my involvement in Twitter is like, hey, this show's coming up. Check out this comic book. Haha, this is funny. But going about like give my opinion, like dude, like it's a moot point, and maybe that's bad on my behalf.
I like money. Yep.
Yeah.
Hashtag Mr. Krabs ain't in a bucket. Mr. Krabs is not in a bucket.
Yeah. And that's
it's not Anthony we're talking about.
I can tell people from experience, you probably shouldn't pick fights online.
No.
Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the most productive thing to do.
That's exactly it. It's a waste of time.
It is a waste of time. It's
You're not
crab
going to
bucket
change
mentality.
people's opinion online.
Yeah, it's how you do it. But still, his opinion online, he didn't defame anyone. He wasn't rude about it. Yeah. He was silly goose Tyler saying some truth. He told the truth. You do need to know those things.
People. Yeah.
Yes, you do know I don't think that every creator needs to have a successful YouTube presence. I don't. No. I think there's other options out there in ways to do it. I think you do. So the main companies, they're selling characters. We're selling us, right? People follow creators in the indie world, in the indie sphere. They want to follow a person they know they can trust and a person they know can create good stuff. And so they follow creators like Billy Tucci, Graham Nolan, Aaron Lopresti, Kelsey Shannon, and I'm missing a whole bunch, but I can.
Oh, there's a whole bunch more. Yeah,
there's a whole bunch to follow. Ethan,
Malin,
Randy, Luke, Craig, Pedro, Dave Brink, Hojo. They're learning to trust Hojo.
Yeah,
People have a lot of.
I don't feel like I'm a success story yet, but I'm just making moves. You know what I mean? Like my time will come, and maybe it won't. I just won't stop fighting, and that's the attitude you should have, dude. Because you gotta be ready for that knockout punch. Because if you're there crying, and you're not training, honing your skills, getting ready for the limelight, when the time comes, you're not gonna be ready, and the train's gonna go by.
There is no way around it, none whatsoever. You have to be prepared. Speaking of be prepared, okay,
and you got to do the work.
We're gonna transition now.
Let's do it.
This is
I don't know if transition's the right word.
No, transition.
I'd say that you're a success if you're still breathing.
Yep.
Every day above ground is a good day.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Exactly.
Yes. Oh, I do want to bring this up. This one's pretty funny. This is what the comics industry did to Kennedy Homar.
Oh.
That's how she started. And this is how she ended.
Oh.
Comics.
That's not comics.
Comics didn't break her. It turned her into Velma.
Yeah, that's Honey Nut Cheerios and Ho-Hos and Ding Dong.
Maybe liberalism.
Corn dogs.
I see a lot of people that get into that whole like.
It looks like she was pulling her own hair out.
Leftist.
That's not good. That's not healthy.
No,
it's not healthy. And you're going to see a lot of things, a lot of stories about. Oh, here's the tweet that Tyler did. Honestly, the comics broke me thread tells me that most creatives are terrible at business, marketing, making financial decisions, and self-education. Reading these posts are sad, but don't act like there was a gun to your head to say yes to $25 a page rate. In 2023, do your own thing. You're very capable of doing that. What I can do to avoid this pin. Learn marketing. Here are 2 books to help you. And he's showing some stuff, right?
Dude,
education.
That's what he gets for trying to be helpful to these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Learn how to
That's
make
it.
content
Flat
in order
out.
to build an audience. Content is not your comic. Your comic is a product. Also, if you're concerned, you're getting screwed by my DMs are always open. He offered help. That's the problem. You don't always offer help.
That's what he gets
They
for
don't want
offering
help.
help.
They want pity.
Yeah.
These people want pity. They don't want help, man. It's disgusting what's going on. But here we're going to talk about.
Good on him for trying to do that, though.
We're going to talk about breaking.
Sorry, it turned out to
loose.
be such a negative, but he's around all the negative people.
Yeah. He deserves it. No, I'm kidding, Charlie.
I'm not saying.
I'm kidding, Charlie. But yeah, that's the thing. Like you don't throw yourself on the pole to save these people if they don't want to be saved. No. And maybe that was just miscalculation. These people are not looking to be saved. They're looking for pity me and give me money.
They're looking for justification to their sense of entitlement. Is what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Comics owes me.
Yeah.
Like, or they're looking for work.
Comics
feel sorry for me.
Get the hell off. Yeah.
Give me some work.
Yeah.
Comics owes no one.
Nope.
This is you make it or you don't make it based on what you want. And look, Hoja says, I saw nothing wrong with Tyler's tweet. Truth is,
nothing.
Except sometimes there was nothing wrong with it.
No, nothing at all.
Of many of the things that he goes online and says that I disagree with, I'm in 100% agreement with what he said. Mm-hmm. There's no reason why he should have gotten canceled for that.
No,
that is weak sauce. Yep. The reason why he got canceled for that is because I think prior to that, the day before he had made some kind of a tweet talking about that he does not purity test his fans.
Audience?
He doesn't care who his audience is or what they believe or where they come from, which again I totally agree with him. Right? I mean, it's because I believe his partner has no spine and weak knees. That's what I believe, and I'll say that out loud. I won't name his name on the show for fear of YouTube not being able to monetize this, but that's the only reason. Otherwise, I'd be happy to share the information.
Is this a good time to point out? Never always be grateful for everyone's time and everyone's money and anyone who retweets and supports you and all that. Never take it for granted. Ever.
Never take it for granted because these.
It also shows you that good people can take criticism.
Yeah.
Yep.
And bad people can't. Hateful people can't.
Yeah.
John's
everybody can be decent, but the fishmonger is back.
Right. Outside of common decency and respect, nobody owes you a damn thing.
There you
if
go.
You want
you
something,
don't even get that in comics for some
exactly.
So,
respect.
Those are the people you need to walk away from.
Look, I don't always agree with Tyler, but I respect the hell out of him.
And if you're not being respected by your publishing company, you need to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, B.A. Turner's welcome, B.A. Turner. I don't think that, there's no reason why he should have gotten canceled from that. I disagree with that entirely. I'm going to go ahead and go back to this view right here. Let's look at something. And
again,
Ashley,
if your company is out there telling you who you can and cannot associate with and who you need to hate, they're a hate group. There's a problem. You need to walk away.
That's exactly it.
How many times do I say this, guy? Adam Kimber's got it. A burnt book is a bought book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he bought that book to burn it. That's fine. Buy him another one and burn that one too. It is a product. It's a product. It is a product. There's nothing. He absolutely was right. You are making content that people are going to enjoy. This is content. Fund My Comic is content that people can go to and look at that sells a product. We're working with a guy who's going to put a browser-based video game on the website. It's content for people to go to, spend time on the website. Content, folks. That's what it is. He's absolutely right. I don't always agree that the content you create has to be YouTube. I don't think everyone needs to be on YouTube. In fact, there's some creators out there that they're best served not being on a live stream because they say some things. They're not good public speakers. And they wind up making people hate them more than like them. And they're fairly likable people in a small group. But when they get on, they just get, woo, man, wow.
You get the woo.
Yeah. A burned book is still a bought book. Yep. Welcome to Gear Size.
There we go.
We have a lot of new people in the chat that I have failed to welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We are going to move right along, though, because we're talking about making real change. And real change is saying to heck with all that. Now, Ashley, you have been making comic books for how long?
This is actually my first one, but I've been writing my own little scripts since the start of lockdown.
Yeah, so the start of lockdown, I remember you saying that earlier, has caused a lot of people to realize we were bored. We didn't have anything else to do. So we started realizing some dreams. In fact, it was in 2020 where I started making real moves to become full-time comics because I saw the writing on the wall, and I eventually wanted to not get paid by the church, and I wanted to be able to do ministry for free and support myself with my art. And I think it gave a lot of people an opportunity to create. So tell us a little bit about how did you first get into comics? Like, what was that first hit that got you hooked?
Well, my first floppy was actually Detective Comics 596. It's Alan Grant and Norm Brayfogle. Still one of my favorites, even just for the nostalgia, but I absolutely love Brayfogle's art. I think that's just, still one of my favorite Batman artists. It took me a little while to actually get fully into comics because I'm 25. I started getting comics in my teens, so I didn't have a lot of disposable income. I got a trade paperback of the Matt Fraction Hawkeye. Wasn't my favorite thing, and it didn't sell me on comics, but as I say, I was a teenager and wasn't really able to go out and buy a lot of comics. I started collecting full time around DC Rebirth. That was when I had disposable income and sorted out a pull list, and that was a pretty obviously I wasn't around for the 80s, so for me that was like pretty much a golden age of creative. You had Dan Jurgens in there, and a lot of Robert Venditti is one of my favorite writers. So it was a pretty good time for me to jump into comics, and then started going back and discovered that I really had a fondness for golden age comics, as well as all these classic pulp heroes, like Phantom and Flash Gordon, and as I said before, Alan Moore's Tom Strong is one of my favorite of his creations, and realized that I really wanted to do something that was kind of a combination of kind of classic superhero comics, but also pulp. And this is really an attempt to kind of create a world where it's you've got these superheroes off and they're doing these kind of cosmic adventures. So that's something that I can write when I want to write. But then you've also got these, more kind of grounded vigilante pulp heroes, and it's really about them. And and I'm also a really big fan of classic mythology. So mythology is going to be a big undertone for these stories.
Oh man, I love mythology too, and I think most
with
people,
a name like Argonauts, right away.
Yeah.
I think people that are into comics are usually into mythology too. I really started getting into superheroes really heavy when they were teaching me in middle school and grade school about the myth, mythology and things like that, and just kind of the beauty of it, and realizing that comics are our modern mythos. And we get to write that. We get to be a part of that. And Bristolian Dave says, "Do I detect another British accent?" Yo, with an accent like that, you're not from here, are you?
No, I'm British. Yeah.
Another colonizer, right?
Another colonizer.
This panel is always so.
I have a question, actually. Where's the boat?
So they actually have a kind of. They don't have a boat, but they do have a little starship. Oh,
so the starship is the Argo?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This black
cool.
and white is beautiful, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an artist edition on this by any chance?
So I was going to say, I'm not the artist. I'm working with a guy named Daniel Max. He's the interior artist. He's fantastic. We have I have a perk. I've actually forgot to add it to Fund My Comics, so I'm going to do that, which is a black and white art only comic. Mm-hmm. And so that's just going to be the pencils and inks.
Can I recommend, if you do add it, put both books together in the same tier? That was my most successful tier, was the line art and the color sold together. Just saying.
Yeah, you'll do quite well on that, I promise.
Yeah.
People like that. People like me who really enjoy the art form, the sequential storytelling. See, there's a group of people that actually respects comic book and sequential storytelling. Most of those people, not all, most of those people that I've met have been in independent comic books. Because too many of the corporate people in mainstream, they could care less. They really only care about the moving pictures on the screen. That's what they care about in the money. Yeah. They don't care about and I can't wait for Randy to finish Spank on the comic industry. A lot of history in there. A lot of history in there. And I've had a chance to kind of read a first draft of it, and man, boy, do I love that. So much history. You guys will be shocked at what you don't know about comic books. And you should know these things, man. But it's cool how like you started out later in life but found your way back to pulp. So what about pulp? The pulp genre is it that really speaks to you?
Oh man, that's I think really pulp has this kind of it's not fully cheesy, but it's a very optimistic and lighthearted feel. It doesn't really fall prey to a lot of the stuff that superheroes do, where they become really self-referential, and there's always someone who wants to come in and do a deconstruction story. But pulp is really it's a more very straightforward what you see is what you get kind of storytelling.
Yeah. Well, let's get a little high brain for a second. You sound like a high brain kind of individual. So we learn early on in Shakespearean writing that there is a comedy and a tragedy. Comedy doesn't necessarily mean it's funny. It means it has a happy ending and a sad ending. And then we move into pulp and noir, right? And that actually is based off of the comedy and tragedy. Pulp has a happy ending, or it's a more positive story, and noir can have a happy ending, but it's more a dark-centered or tragic story in kind of its structure. And the problem is, in most of comics, we create our pulp characters, but all we know how to do is write noir stories. And
that's if they know how to write in the first place.
Yeah, but that's where the deconstruction comes from.
A lot of things.
Look, somebody did it good once, and so everyone tried to copy it because they thought that's what would sell, because it did sell. And then it became the thing. I think Watchmen is a great example of taking, what looked pulp and making it very noir. What would have been a typical superhero story, you expand into the darker regions of these individual characters beyond their superpowers and see how broken they are. We saw that in some of the Batman writing, and these books did really, really well. But now the problem is all they want to do is dehumanize them, where pulp gives you heroes to look up to and to look after.
Emulate.
To emulate. My book, even though it's modern superheroes and it has some pretty tragic events in it, please don't be mistaken, it's definitely pulp. It's a positive story in the total spin of it. But like everything, Act 2 is always dark.
Maybe I'm diving too deep into this, but this whole looking at heroes to emulate as something cheesy, something that it's been ingrained in the educational system. You know what I mean? We're not educated to look for heroes anymore.
Yep.
And I get that by talking to young people. Everything is ironic, everything is cynic, everything is nihilistic, and
that all ties into capitalism too, though, right? I mean, you're taught that you get in life what you work for, right? The harder you work, the more rewarding your life is, the more you aspire, the greater feats you can achieve. But at the same time, if you just want to be mediocre and average, that's okay too, because everyone needs something. But yeah, this war on North America and
excellence.
The dream of having the house, and exactly. So part of crushing all that is crushing your heroes.
Yeah.
And if I could say something about Luke, when you said about noir, one of the key themes of noir is that the heroes are victims. They're always being played by everyone. They just don't realize it until the end. Like Chinatown and I mean even Watchmen, where you've got Ozymandias and everyone's just playing into his plan, all that kind of thing. But then you see pulp, and it's a lot more driven by the hero. The story is driven by the heroes, and there is actually there's a sense of, if I follow this hero, I'm actually going to see something that he's playing a role, or they're playing a role, and they're kind of they are actually the protagonists of the story, and it's not just playing in someone else's game. So that's what I like about pulp, is it's more adventure.
Yeah, there's a fun element, and Black Belt says here, like Russ says, only death can save us is written with fun in mind. You can still tell a great story with a straight face. You absolutely can.
Yeah.
It is about story crafting, and that's why I always hate those conversations about what's more important, the writing or the art. It is truly a symbiotic relationship in comic books. You could not tell your story without this artist.
Yeah.
Like, they go hand in hand here. I've got a few more questions for you. I like to get to know who you are and let people get to know who you are. So tell me about finding the creative team. What brought you to this artist to grab this kind of look and feel for the book?
So I actually put out I was seeking artists I was seeking artists across social media. So Reddit and Instagram were the main ones. There's a subreddit called Comic Book Labs, which is, it has pretty mixed results, but I was scrolling through all these different artists and I saw Daniel's art, and it was exactly what I was looking for, but I kind of had this self-doubt, like, there's no way I'll be able to afford this guy, And so I put out the advert, and Daniel was one of the first ones to respond, and he had really solid page rates, and so I got in touch with him, and he was exactly what I was looking for, and I described the pitch to him, and he was very happy with it. And
he's great at perspective and depth, and these backgrounds are great. I really enjoy what he's done. Like, look, there's such depth and vastness to what he's got here. Mm-hmm. I really admire that in an artist. And telling a story like this, you need it. Yeah. Like this one panel, these 3 jumps, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude. And the thing is, there's environmental perspective too, because you see the elements receding in gray tones as they go behind.
Yeah.
Very well done.
He's capturing your story well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's important. Let's watch your trailer.
Yeah,
let's go and watch your trailer. Can you guys hear that?
I think this might just
I'm sorry, what was that?
I think this might actually be the old one that has the Indiegogo pictures up in there. I'm not sure.
Right.
I know I re-edited one, but
okay. Well, if it is, we'll just shame you a little bit, and then we'll move on. Okay, not a big deal.
That will not go unpunished.
Yeah, you'll just have to. Yeah, you'll have to take your chastisements and your.
Bring out the bell and scream shame,
yes.
shame.
We'll put a pink letter on him instead of a scarlet letter. The pink site. Yeah, but we'll go ahead. Here we go. That guy kind of looked like Rocketeer.
Yeah. Loving the music.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah. It has the vibe.
Very hopeful.
Nice swell.
Gorilla.
That's a cool character.
You got a guy with a rocket pack in the back there.
Yeah, I like the rocket pack guy.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh! What are you thinking? How do you like losing that 5% over there? How's that feel? Sorry. Ashley, I hope you understand my humor. I hope you get it. Sometimes I get a little,
I will link it to the. I do actually have a new trailer uploaded on my YouTube, so I'll link it to that.
Yeah.
What's funny is like sometimes I'll just mess around and I'll have a great rapport with one of the guests, and then somebody will get butt hurt in the comments and be like, "You were really rude today," and I'm like, "Look, I have this built-in tone, so I always sound a little rude, or a little annoyed, because of this the vocal cord damage that I've got. But yeah, I'm not trying to be rude. I just playing around with you. Obviously, I don't use Indiegogo anymore, but many people that I know do, and I have no problem with that. One of these days, people will just abandon that site because they'll be like, you know what, this site's better. We're getting there. We're building it up. So very cool pulp feel. The trailer, the music, it all gives me this feeling that this is adventure and it's going to be fun, and that I'm not going to
be all right.
Yeah, like this feels like escapism.
Yeah.
Feels like escapism, and I like how you've done this with this newspaper article and these kind of things here. How many pages is this book going to be, by the way?
It's going to be 64 pages.
64.
Fat book.
And so when you started writing your script, did it start out? I think I recall you saying that you started out writing a few different things and then you just kind of slammed them together into this. Is that what I heard?
Kind of, yeah. I had all these short stories, and each one of them had a hero who I really, some of them were team things, some of them were solo stories, and I had all these heroes who I really enjoyed and started to realize that they actually worked pretty well together. And I don't want to say I was impatient, but I got to the point where I was like, I don't want to have to wait however many years for each one of these to have their own solo book. And so I kind of reworked them a little bit into their own, so that they would make sense as a team, put them in the same kind of setting, and just started coming up with a team up adventure for them.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you're still working a full-time job doing that kind of thing. Do you mind telling people what you do for, to pay the bills?
Probably not at the moment.
Okay, I understand.
Because I'm actually trying to get into a new job at the moment.
There you go. Well, best of luck with that. Hopefully, there's work there for you. I know a lot of people that especially in their first book, they're going to their day job and they're dreaming about this comic book that they're doing. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if you had any of that, trying to focus.
Yeah, I use part of my income to kind of get this together at the beginning. So I saved up for obviously this great cover by Yannick Paquette.
This is gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah. And I got 10 pages done before we launched. 8 pages done before we launched, and then we've been kind of, as we progress, we've been adding a few more pages at a time.
Yeah. I'm sure getting payouts regularly from Fund My Comic probably help, don't they? To help make
that's definitely the biggest advantage that Fund My Comic has, I think, is you can make it in real time.
Yep. So that's why we structured it that way, is so that you can, now you don't have to wait till this 84 days. You don't have to wait till the end of that to have your money. Right. But you can get there. And dude, $2,500 is not a lot of money compared to, what people are able to make out there. Like, let's be really honest. Eric July made $1 million already. He's over $1 million.
In 2 days?
In 2 days. Jesus. He is going to make, I don't think he's going to make $5 million. I think he's easily going to make 2.5, 3. He might get real close to hitting the $4 million again. And, which is really impressive for a second book, because issue 2s always do less than issue 1s. I've seen very few times where issue 2 outsold issue 1s. And because a lot of people jump on for the collectability of an issue 1 who aren't really backers. What's being proven right now is that people weren't just buying his book to own the libs. They are really interested in him telling his story. Some people aren't a fan of the writing of the story itself, and that's fine, because this art form is subjective. And you're not going to write something that everyone's going to like, and that is okay. But what they can't say is that he was a one-hit wonder. That it was $1 million in 2 days is still $1 million in 2 days.
That ship sailed.
Yeah, that's money. But he's hired Chuck Dixon. He's got now real editors.
That's the other thing. Like
working with him.
He's doing the right thing. Like he got those two ladies writing the Yaira book. He has Chuck Dixon. Like his roster of artists is getting better and better. So, dude.
Well, his success with the first one really inspired us to build Fun My Comic, because not everybody has the reach and resource that he does. He has 517,000 followers, subs on YouTube, and subs and mailing lists can be interchangeable. That's what you're really looking for, is people that follow you, that are actively following you in some way.
Involved, yeah.
Yeah, and so 10% of whatever your audience is probably what's going to buy the book, and so he's probably, I think, a third of the way there as far as his audience coming out again for this one. So I think he's going to be fine on all of that. And yeah, he also has appeal with an audience outside of comics. He's got music fans that are buying the book too. He's found crossover people, to do that. People also tend to forget that they see $1 million in shipping cost when the campaign is done. Yeah, like that's the other thing. Like that's why we're talking about those people that made $12K, and they're like, "Well, I was broke because you didn't account well for shipping." Yeah. Shipping always hurts you. In fact, I got really blasted because I was charging $10 shipping on a single book, and it wasn't going to ship for months. Well, I'm tied in with the post office. I know what the rates are going to be, or at least projected. When I know when they're going up, because they go up the same time almost every year. It's almost cyclical, and I know about what average percentage they go up. They never go down; they always go up. And then so shipping costs go up. Paper has a problem, so cardboard costs go up. So shipping supplies, and that's where everyone gets hurt on the fulfillment, and that they wind up going broke. And well, for Rift Riders, I still have some paperwork to do and figure out like what we've got left. But to be really honest with you, there wasn't a lot left over on that book because shipping costs so much more this time around, especially international. We charged $25 worldwide for international.
Oh, dude.
We had several books that went to the UK that were $45 or $50 to ship a single book. And so we had to eat that out of our profits because at the time it was $25 to ship to the UK, a roundabout. And now it's $45 because it's so expensive. And yeah, shipping is a nightmare. No more crowdfunding for me until I finish a book. Yeah. So yeah, we finished a book, and that's kind of where I'm at most of the time. But you're using these funds now to make this book. And so you're a couple more pages in. You have 64 to go. And so when are you expecting that you're going to be delivering this book?
Well, depending on when we get funded by it, I'm hoping to be able to deliver it by sometime in early 2024.
Awesome. I know this is going until September. And so, guys, the more you back this thing, the faster you can get it made. But you're making it no matter what, right? Like, it's happening.
It'll, if we don't meet the funding, it'll come along at a snail's pace. But yeah, we will get it done.
Yeah, you're just helping him get there. You're truly kickstarting or boosting this project, which is what a fun thing to do to be able to get in on this and be a part of making his dreams come true. Glenn says, postage killed my Kirby book to the U.S. Thankfully, it's in Barnes & Nobles and Amazon now. Yeah. And I know, Glenn had to send me 2 copies.
We're going to start a postage broke me hashtag now.
Postage broke me. Hashtag postage broke me. So Glenn sent me a copy of the Kirby book, and it never showed up. The tracking, it stopped somewhere in New York. Never made it to where we were at. So he finally sent me another one, and it came right away. The other one's still out in limbo somewhere. Who knows where it's at?
Somebody liked it.
Of the Hudson.
Somebody liked it.
Might be at the bottom of the Hudson. But so he had to pay shipping twice, and Dave Brink is in the same situation. He sent me American Bliss.
Perfect 10. American Blitz.
No, it sent me American Bliss, and it went to my old address, right? Because that was Indiegogo. I had updated it, but for some reason it didn't save, and so it went there. and he got the package back empty.
What?
So it was returned to him, but someone opened the box and kept the books.
That's shady.
Right?
I've sold some books online. I sold someone the Spawn Satan Saga, which is a really expensive set. Sent it to him, and he just got an empty box.
So let me tell you right now, I don't know what your plans are for shipping this book out, but if you need help with U.S. shipping, I will be happy to help you on this end, so that you can print and ship from here and save money to your backers. Okay?
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm looking for people that we can do the same in the UK and in Australia and Canada. I think we might have a printer. Well, we've got a guy in Canada, don't we? Don't
we got a guy.
We got a guy in Canada. We just need to get a printer in Canada.
We got a guy
that we can trust with pricing, and so that's always the issue. So you've got a couple of different tiers here that you can get. You have got the digital for $11. You've got a print edition. What is the shipping cost on this print one, by the way?
So to the US, because we're hoping, I mean, as you said about distribution, we're hoping to be able to get in touch with a fulfillment center in the United States anyway. Mm-hmm. So if we end up just going with those guys, it would be, I think it's $8 to an American.
Yeah, hopefully you've talked to RJ. RJ's also very affordable. And he does Critical Blast. He does a great job on fulfillment. He fulfills for Mike Barron. For his books, actually. So yeah, $21, so $8. Yeah, that's not bad. $24 for the for this special cover, this Yannick. How do you say his last name?
Paquette, I think.
Paquette? Okay. I was gonna butcher that, by the way.
Yeah.
Like it was gonna be really
Good
bad.
save.
Yeah, good save. And then you get a 3-pack of Paquette, which is really cool. Definitely add that artist edition on here. Now you can do a tier with both of them. Don't forget, we have the shopping cart, to where you can add the things in, and then boom, you got a shopping cart. Next month we're adding a new feature. By the way, did you know that, Ashley?
No.
You're going to be able to go here and adjust the quantity of each one of these rewards that you've chosen. So if you wanted 2 of the physical, you can just 2 physical.
Nice.
And then the coupon codes will still apply. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a big upgrade for people. We've had a few people that's requested it personally. But this is awesome. So what made you choose to go with Fund My Comic, by the way?
I mean, it's just the first of all, just being able to get out there on as many places as you can, but definitely the a lot of flexibility on there and the real-time funding, so we can actually make the comic as we go. That was definitely.
And I'm sure the cheaper platform fee helps a lot too. We try to do that because, man, it's expensive to make a book. I think a lot of people jump into comics, they don't realize what it takes, and that's part of why it breaks them. They don't realize they don't do enough research to understand, like, look, this process of making a comic book, what it all takes to, to work with the team and to get that. So does your artist also do your colors?
No, I actually have a different colorist, a guy named Russell Vincent Yu.
Okay.
And I mean, same thing with the artist. I mean, the colorist just really matches the
really
the style
does.
of the book. Yeah.
And you understand that. So how did you understand? As someone new, did you research it? Like, kind of tell us that story. How did you decide, like, oh, this is the art that matches my story, and this is the colors that matches my artist? How did you get to that understanding? Because a lot of people can't get there.
Yeah, I think it really was just a lot of reading. I bought a lot of. I mean, I had a pretty good collection before I started, and then I went out and picked out some of the classics. Like the Dynamite Pulp universe, that kind of stuff. And as I said before, like Tom Strong, can't recommend that enough. But I had a lot of people's portfolios that I kind of saved and was looking through and trying to figure out who I think would fit the most. So some people, you look at them and you think this is really this guy is really destined for like a cyberpunk comic, and then you go on to the next guy and it's like this is really a horror comic guy. And then Russell's the thing he actually had out was an adventure book in his portfolio that was something he colored. And so I looked at it and I was like, yeah, this is the guy.
Awesome. That's great that you were able to do that. I mean, a lot of people, they have an artist in mind and the artist doesn't fit the story. Like, in fact, we were working with that. Whiskey was going through this whole thing. He has an art style in mind. He asked me, can I replicate it? I said probably, but it would take me longer because I have a tendency to draw my style, like what I do. I could go hyper detailed on things and I could go more manga on things, but I tend to do this. I've kind of settled into this kind of, someone called me the Joe Walsh of comic book art. And I don't know if you understand this reference or not, but Joe Walsh, I understood as a guitarist. Very talented, very great with phrasing, very great with his, kind of his expressive guitar playing, but he's also very sloppy in some of the detailed areas. Like he's not real pristine, kind of like what, tip of my tongue, guitarist, left-handed, Jimi Hendrix. Just like how Jimi Hendrix, it's like he never really played the riff the same way twice. And it was really very expressive and kind of stuff like that. I tend to be that way with my art. And so there's some things that get a little loose. Some of the lines don't touch, where people's like, well, you need to tighten that up. I'm like, it looks great. And like, it's, this is the feel, right? And so someone called me the Joe Walsh of comic book art. And I actually like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll roll with that. But that's kind of my style, right? And yeah, someone that's not in that style can break out and do other things. I'm reminded of, what's his name? Storyboard. Yeah, like Jeremy. What's his name? He does Jupiter. The guy that does Jupiter. And he can almost perfectly emulate...
Jason Sandberg.
Jason Sandberg, thank you. He can almost perfectly replicate Jack Kirby's style. Like, almost perfectly.
Yep.
And, but that's not his typical art style. That's not what he really does. And so some people have those kind of talents. But Russ says, I'd work with Chuck Dixon in a heartbeat, no decision necessary. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't see like...
And no, I don't think Eric does count his shipping totals.
So, like for the, or for like that, getting Luke for an artist thing, we had a long conversation about like art, and I was like deciding on it, but basically going to get Luke to do a storyboard, which I think we kind of came to agreement for, because his layouts are great. Like, I think it works for the, it would work for the book that we're possibly going to be doing.
Yeah, and I, so I'm like, yeah, I'll be happy to do the layouts for the book. Let somebody else do the art, which I did layouts for one of the stories that's in the Out of Obscurity book for the Bronze Terror. I did the layouts for that. And I actually like seeing someone else's artwork over my layouts. I think it's neat. Because what made me start doing that is because I wasn't very good at layouts at first. And so I hired somebody that was really good at them. And then, he and I worked together for so long, he kind of already had my art, a little bit of my art style. Yeah. And so it helped me, but I was able to really pick up to the, to layouts. Now I kind of think of things in a cinematic way, and so I'm happy to do that, and it's fun to see somebody else's actual art over my layouts. It's kind of neat because I'm like, ooh, I remember that, and it's great to see their artwork on my story choices. I don't know. There's kind of this weird, like, I don't know. It's kind of this weird feeling like, oh, I had a little touch in that. It's like, it looks amazing.
It kind of works great too, because like I'm a 3D artist, right? And what I can do is I can provide 3D assets for the stuff, and then Luke can just, he's got the Clip Studio skills. You can slap him in there, and then do a rough, layout over top of that, and then we're golden. We get that to the artist, whoever eventually we pick up for the book, and I think it's going to be fantastic, right?
Yeah, I do too. I really do. Yeah, we have a fulfillment center in the USA, but Critical Blast, and we're working on expanding to worldwide. We really are. Bristolian Dave, yes, we are working on how we're going to do that, but we're also working on that for our direct to retail distribution for Iron Age distribution that we're working on. Just as research, I just thought that you just showed up and asked for money. Some people do. Yitsu says lines need to touch. No, I love Yitsu's art. because I'm like, it's the, like, I get it. There's that fun aspect to it. Sometimes they intersect too much. Yeah. Like Randy's like, they touch, yeah. And so, yeah, we have a lot of fun with that. I wish my guitar playing was as sloppy and Walsh and Hendrix. Yeah, they are very sloppy guitar players. They are. Yeah. But they're amazing, right? Because they have so much emotion. They have the skill, but they have the emotion. They're not thinking about it. They're feeling it, right? I don't think about the page layouts so much as feel it. Like,
I mean, a guitar player that was as expressive as Hendrix, but really accurate was Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah. And that's why he's untouchable.
He's untouchable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you need that balance. But I mean, sometimes a lot is good.
Well, he had some precision, but there's some areas where he was a little, the reason he had to be precise because he had 12 gauge strings on his electric guitar, which is unheard of. And the action was so unbelievably high. Yeah. It was almost an eighth of an inch or more above the fretboard.
That's the thing. Like,
he had giant, strong hands.
Yeah.
And so he would hit these, and I'm telling you, Stevie Ray Vaughan is a guitar god for that reason, And Joe Walsh now plays with the Eagles. Yeah, he does. And again, he brings that beautiful expressiveness to a team, which is why I like to work with teams. I could do every aspect of a book, but what's the point? It's fun working with a creative team. So speaking of, we're breaking out and we're making real change. The only way to get out from underneath the thumb of the people that are breaking you in comics is to take that power away. The only way to take that power away is to find an alternative or create an alternative, right? So in the indie world, we were looking at the fact that Indiegogo, with their trust and safety, is actually holding, I think it's Neo, somebody was making a comic book, and I can't remember who it is. Someone in the chat, you got to help me with this. Someone's making a comic book, and it's been 2 or 3 weeks where they have held the money without, it's being held by trust and safety for review without any kind of notice.
Great.
And so their book is in limbo, so they're going to close down their Indiegogo, and they're moving somewhere else, and I think they might be moving to Fund My Comic, which will be good for them because they'll make more money. I mean, just look at what Hans did. Green Sight kicked him out, right? They kicked him out, and he came to Fund My Comic, and over here, he went way past his goal and broke 10K on the site. He was the first campaign to break 10K.
They almost did him a favor by screwing him over because he got so much publicity out of it.
They really did. We have to thank them, right?
Send some roses over.
Dude, I'm going to be really honest with you. I thank every time I see the mainstream do anything that they do. I thank them. Look at AR-13 Little Mermaid. This is possible because Disney sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, they're neck and neck. You see that Bronze Star in AR-13. Oh my gosh, they are neck and neck. $9,429 each. Who is going to be the next one to break 10K? Which one do you think it's going to be?
But look, you just made a point that to me is very important. That the demise of these huge corporations, some people are looking at that like, dude, it's the end of the world. Like, no more Disney. To us, it looks like an opportunity, because there's a void for entertainment that has to be filled with comic books, movies, whatever. Maybe we won't be doing the movies, but we'll be doing the comic books, the animation, the games. So people need to be entertained, and we're going to be here. Like, I see it as opportunity. I don't know why everybody's like, oh my God, no. It's like, dude, stop it. Get on with it. Get some work.
Yep. Agent Zero says Neon Clownfish. That's right. Clownfish is doing it. So yeah. I heard about that. Clownfish TV had their campaign funds held on Indiegogo for months.
Wow.
Not weeks, months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that happened.
Hendrix played Sgt. Pepper all the way through at his gig, only 12 hours after hearing it for the first time. McCartney and Lennon were in the audience. I'll settle for that talent. Sloppy or not.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, calling him sloppy, it's not saying that he's bad. It's just that his expressiveness doesn't allow him to be so precise. Like, he's all over the place. But the talent is undeniable. And there's a lot of musicians that are just like that. And there are a lot of artists who express themselves like that.
I hate to brag. Well, no, I don't.
But you will.
But I'm going to. So I finished 5 pages in 24 hours this week.
Oh wow!
I was able to get 5 pages done in 24 hours. That's the most I've produced ever, even before the nap, even before the reset.
Sweet.
And I'm going to produce probably 3 to 4 more before the end of day tomorrow.
Cool.
So and that's taking it easy. That's taking it easy, doing some other stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty psyched. I'm pretty stoked about that. I don't know if that equates to learning a song in 12 hours, but it feels pretty awesome. Feels pretty awesome to be able to produce at that level, you know. And the pages actually look decent. They don't look terrible. So it's I'm not going to say they're a masterpiece, but they're pretty decent. They're pretty good. And so anyway,
impressive.
Yeah. Oh no, talent is the same camp as libraries. Both are trigger words. Yes, you can't say talent. Can't say talent.
Speaking
These days,
about
it's a skill you can learn.
talent, I just finished this reference art for the comic.
Sweet. You want to show it off?
I do kind of. If you guys don't mind.
Right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see it.
If I can figure out this.
Anytime now.
Streaming. Yeah, I'm working.
Just at some point.
There we are.
And take your time. Oh, that's cool, man. Oh, you went with a suggestion. Smart. I like it. Man, the Buccaneer boots. I think everyone should have Buccaneer boots. Heck, I'm looking for a pair of Buccaneer boots to wear this weekend. Father's Day.
I love swash boots or pirate boots or whatever you call them.
Yeah, they call them Buccaneer boots. At least that's what we call them. I love them. Sweet, man. That looks cool. Good job. You're actually pretty good at that stuff. Say actually like I didn't think that you were ever good at it. I really did. So anyway, getting back to kind of topic. So, I saw, when you see what's going on where someone has power and they can exert power over you, what you've got to do is take that power away. Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, when you do that, it's going to tick them off. It really is. Yep. Diamond doesn't like the fact that people are leaving because they had power over everybody. And during the pandemic, they were stupid. They broke the contract. And, DC was the first one to realize that you have no more power here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have no power here.
No more power here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's, when you realize that this intimidation that you've been dealing with, that, well, we just have to live in the system like that, what this guy said. Well, we just have to deal with it. Maybe we have to get lawyers or something like that. Or maybe you just stop playing their game. Look, if everybody says no to their rates, who are they going to get to draw the comic book? Everybody says, no, thanks.
Some other doormats, right?
Because what they're worried about is about some other doormat allowing to work at that rate. Like, oh, well, they'll do it and then I won't have the job. Well, that's fine. Their sales are in the crapper already. Why don't you make your own thing and be happy with it? Enjoy it. I get people that are just so grateful to have some freedom and flexibility with their crowdfunding. So look at this. We've had some tips. I've gotten some action on my hybrids this week. Oh, nice. Look at that. Mike Barron, he's got two stories in here. Well, actually, he's got third if Smokes is still in there. Smokes are there. Mike has 3 stories in the featured picks.
Cool.
Of course he does. You know what? He's won an Eisner, and they don't respect him.
Yeah. You see him belly aching about boohoo my Eisner? No, it's working.
No, look, he's made over 10 grand over on the green site.
There you go. That's an Eisner.
This is Eisner quality. Dude, you got to check this out. Look at this Bronze Star thing. This is awesome.
Play the trailer,
this has an this has an artist edition as well.
Just amazing.
Yeah, let's watch the trailer. We have to watch this.
The Civil War was America's bloodiest conflict. Over 500,000 died to preserve national unity. When the war ended, Confederates like Harley Brogdon headed west, shooting game for the Army and gambling. When a card game turns deadly, Harley shoots in self-defense, killing the card sharp who threw down first. Wilfred Knorr, the card sharp's wealthy father, will stop at nothing to see Harley hang. Harley flees to Cobb's Gap, an old silver mining town at the foot of the Rockies. A remarkably peaceful town, especially after dark. But the sheriff harbors a dark secret, and no one dares go into the mines anymore. Cobb's Gap is full of secrets. People speak in hushed tones of something in the mine. Something worse than their cursed sheriff. Something even the Indians fear. Tired of running, Harley falls in love with a local widow with secrets of her own. But when Knorr's posse arrives seeking vengeance, the stage is set for a showdown with unimaginable horrors from the deepest pits of hell, and every secret will be exposed. Eisner winner Mike Barron and acclaimed illustrator Pat Broderick present one of the weirdest westerns that Comic Dom has ever seen. Bronze Star, a thrilling tale of love, revenge, and supernatural terror from the minds of two legendary creators. It's not the monster you're looking for. Order your copy at bronzestarcomic.com.
We need to be praying for Broderick, by the way. He has an aneurysm that they're doing work on. He couldn't make it to HeroCon, but Pat was an inspiration to me early on in my artistic endeavors, finding his stuff. He did a lot of illustration, and he did a lot of this indie underground stuff too, that I really enjoyed. And especially in like this panel here, you can, if you look back to the original issue 1 art for Hybrids, you can see a lot of influence from Broderick in my paneling and my, you know, my face geometries and things like that. But obviously he does it way more masterfully than I was ever doing. I mean, he's absolutely fantastic at what he does.
In my opinion, this is the best work I've ever seen him do. It's just phenomenal work.
Dude, like there's inspiring work, and there's work that makes me want to jump in the river. And this is jump in the river artwork for me. It's just like
it's just so absolutely tremendously good. I mean, a lot of people at his age, artists his age, they decline. I mean, we see that with Frank Miller. You know, like his new art, I don't like it at all. In fact, you know, I had that real spicy take. You know, he calls himself an artist. You know, or he thinks he's, you know, and people like, man, people. I'm like, I'm being sarcastic, guys. I'm allowed to be sarcastic. But yeah, so I don't care for Frank's. I think that he's declined in his age, where Pat has only gotten better. This artist edition that you can get, 75, is an oversized black and white artist edition. You best believe that I backed this on day one. Look at that. Just this. Gosh, just get in there. Look at the detail. This gore. Look at this gore. The rib cage and the blood and the guts. The detail and how he did that beautifully contrasted against the night sky. That blackness and all of those lines. I hope he's getting paid per line on this book.
Yeah. This book is done, right?
It is done. It's still being colored.
Okay.
But it will be going out early. They do believe it's going to be going out early. In fact, I think most of the stuff they do goes out early. I've never seen them ever be late. They're expecting it's going out by October, which will probably be early. But yeah, all of his artwork is done. It took him months to get it done. But man, what a beautiful book. We know Mike Barron has got the chops. Probably, arguably, the best run of The Punisher was written by Mike Barron. Which, if you miss the Punisher and you hate what they did, then all you need to do is go over here and pick up Private American. It is the Punisher that you want. If you don't like what they did with Little Mermaid, then you need to check this one out. This one's great. So, Shay, Shay the Red Valkyrie,
Yep.
cosplayed Little Mermaid,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to say anything else.
It was a challenge. Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah.
Anything I would say could incriminate me in one way or another.
Okay.
All I'm going to say is she's very good at the cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow she pulled off scales in a starfish.
Yep.
I can't believe that her YouTube didn't get struck for that. I mean, I was like, there's no way when they were on that show that she's going to cosplay AR-13. No way. And she did.
And she did.
She did. I'm like, wow, that lady.
It looked great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that lady's got guts. She's just got, talk about, just putting it all out there. Really did.
Yeah.
I realized how funny that was as the words were coming out of my mouth. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm saying that. But no, Shay's a great supporter of indie comics. Great friend. I really appreciate her. Her and Sai have been amazing. This is an Arrow comic, so you can get the Arrow bundle in here.
It's an Arrow 3G comic, the first of that brand. So
yes, it is.
Not for wussies.
Yep. And we've got another Arrow comic that's going to be coming, another kind of anthology that's going to be on the 3G title as well. That's going to be pretty fun. It's not going to be as adulty, though. It's still going to be pretty pulp.
All depends on which one you're talking about.
I'm talking about the one with Eric, where it's Dinosaur Man versus Kron.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty fun. Yeah, they versus the monster. So it's
still want to do that parody anthology, though.
Yeah, we got to do that parody. That's definitely a 3G.
That'll be 3G.
The Y Women, for sure.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. But look at this. Look how that's going. So that's going well. So you've got people here that rather than be stuck in the system, they make real change. Now, Randy, I'm going to take this. You know what? I'll go and leave the campaigns up here so people can look at them a little bit. I do want to ask Randy a few questions. I don't interview you often.
I'm sorry if there's banging going on.
That's all right. Well,
my kitchen's being refloored as we speak.
We'll use that as an excuse.
That's my excuse.
Yeah.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Go ahead.
So, you were offered, at what point in your career were you offered that internship with Marvel?
Very early on in my career. Okay. I had gotten a couple of independent books out, and there was a big editor. I can tell you who it was. It was Sid Jacobson.
Wow, that's a big name.
American Comics show in Dearborn. He saw my work, and somebody had arranged for him to see my work beforehand. And he, at the time, was the bigwig over at Star Comics, and my style tends to be a little cartoony, and those I could have very easily have fit in over there with what they were doing. And he offered me an internship. I asked him how much it paid. He told me, and I laughed at him. So
nice.
I couldn't. He says, "Well, you can get an apartment and bunk in with a couple of others and all this." I said, no. Even at that, I knew what New York City was like, and I'm like, there's no way I'd be able to survive.
Yeah.
And that's how comics didn't break you. See, say no. It's powerful.
Well, like I said, there were times I regretted it, and the people that had lined up that deal for me didn't speak to me for a number of years, and I know Sid Jacobson never cared for me after that. But I was just actually I wasn't even thinking twice when he told me the amount. I just laughed.
Well, because, undoubtedly they felt insulted because they felt like they were.
Looking back on it, I should have just politely said no and moved on. But it was,
it's not only that. They probably felt like they were giving you something, that what they were offering was a treasure that you should have been grateful for, but you weren't because it was insulting. Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of these artists now, they're out there, and these writers and editors, they're holding the keys, and you should be grateful for these crumbs that we're giving you. But you don't have to be grateful for those crumbs, honestly, because they are insulting.
And I'm looking at some of these rates, and I'm like, wow, there's been jobs, especially comic related sequential art jobs that I've done here locally that I've given what I consider to be real friendly rates to, that are about 5 to 6 to 7 times that what these people are saying that they're getting from these companies. It's just it's crazy. I didn't know they were working for that little.
Yeah, I saw a hashtag comics broke me colorist who said he was getting $10 a page. I couldn't believe it.
$10 a page.
Wow.
$10 a page. $25 a page, which is less than what I pay my colorists. Yeah.
Wait,
and they're in a different country.
Wait, dude, $10 a page?
Yeah.
You can make more money cutting shoes.
My flatter makes more money than that.
Yeah.
My flatter gets paid more than that.
Yep, same.
Well, maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe they're getting made $25 a page. They're paying their flatter $15 a page, so they're making $10 a page to render.
I cut signed vinyl here out of my basement as a part-time gig, because there's some clients that I don't want to get rid of that I've had for decades, and I made more money last year, a lot more money last year, cutting signed vinyl than what Heather Antos got paid.
Yeah. Yeah, she made $30,000 a year at, and you know that's not a good living. That's not a good living at all. Especially not these days.
Especially not living in a big city.
I used to make six figures Canadian until I retired, but
yeah, you made pretty good money. I know some people that make really good money, and that's why they only do comics as a hobby. You know, they're like, yeah, comics will never be able to pay me what I make. And granted, it won't. You know, but let's look at Battle Brick Road here for a second. You know, these guys, you know, this is his aggregated total over 3 campaigns. He made $109,000. We're 2,007 backers. So here's some of the flexibility that he has. So he had decided, he had already closed, and Eric Weathers is the letterer for Eric July for ISOM.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he wanted to ride some of that wave of being kind of being on that book and being able to cross promote his other book, right? But he had already closed, and he goes, "Hey, am I seeing this right that I can extend my campaign even after it's closed?" I said, "Yes, welcome to freedom."
Nice.
This is what we can do. There's flexibility. Why shouldn't you be able to do that? You know, let me go and open it back up. Who says that your campaign has to be 30 or 60 days? Who started that rule? The green site did, right? Green site and then the pink site. But that's an arbitrary number.
It was more of like watching the algorithm, and it does kind of make sense. Like if you do the mailing list first, you generate the hype. Your first day launch, your first 24 hours, you get a big chunk of money, and as well as if you say you're closing it out and like you can't get the book after this point, that also encourages a bunch of backers to jump on in the last 24 hours. So that was the only logical reason behind it. But if that's not
logical reason,
yeah.
And again, that's we become conditioned. Now I'll tell people now, you know, that want to run a continuous campaign with no end like this one. Yeah. I said, look, your time-based is better. It really is. But if you have no intention on stopping selling this product, then leave it up continuous forever. That's fine.
But that's the thing. Like pink and green has had like a Pavlovian effect on us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we've been doing this for a couple of years, and that's how it works there. And now that looks like an immovable monolith, which is really not the case.
Even my campaign on Fund My Comic, for example, like people don't even know I'm working on the next book. That's my fault for not marketing it. But my campaign's wide open, and I haven't even started hyping up my next book yet. So.
Do you see it? You see it a lot in this business where people are stuck in the same rut, and we are the creatives. We're the alternate. You know, we're in alternate. You know, alternative comics, independent comics. We should be able to be the ones to think outside the box, to break out. Because I keep saying over and over again, we don't have to stay in that same format. We don't have to stay in that same size. We don't have to fit that bag. We don't have to fit that slab. All we have to do is entertain people.
Bingo.
Don't get me wrong. I'm all about that box. But yeah, like you have to live in it.
Craig, I freaking love this page.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite pages.
That looks sick. I just looked up from my stuff. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Go and hold that up, Craig. I'm gonna put a little Miracle Grow there. What you got, man? Look at that.
All these Arrow comics.
Look at those comics there.
Oh, look at that.
Man, how does it feel?
That logo.
How does it feel holding that book in your hand, dude?
That's a great logo on the back there.
Yes.
I mean, you got to understand too. Like, I mean, my time in Afghanistan, like, you know what I mean, dealing with some crazy stuff. I was dreaming this world up. I never thought the day would come where I would actually see it
awesome,
like, materialize in the real world. Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to cancel you and it upset me.
Yeah.
I remember going to Randy and said, "Hey, I think we can help this guy. I think we should help this guy." And Randy was like, he's like, "Oh, that's the guy I heard about him." And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's." And that's when I came back to Craig. I said, "Hey, we'd like to help you out." And Craig was like, "Please."
But you said here I'm working on issue 4 and nobody even knows. Like, this is my fault, by the way. I'm not putting on anyone. Nobody even knows I'm working on it. I got to get a MailChimp list out. I think I got to get out to all my old backers and spread the word that, hey, the story's still going.
It's just part of that educating yourself, learning on, hey, this is what you do. This is how you capitalize on these things. And it's all, it all is, you know, part of the process, but you have to take ownership of those things, which a lot of these people that are complaining about the comics broke me, they're not. And when you don't take ownership, you can't make change. It's like an abusive relationship. You're going to continue to be abused until you just decide to get out of that thing, right? You're either going to get out of it or they're going to kill you. You know, there's this show on Apple TV called The Bad Sisters, and the sister-in-laws are trying to kill their sister's husband because they're like, well, he's breaking her, like she's not even the same person anymore. And so they, you know, they're trying to kill him, and it starts with him being dead. So you're just trying to figure out how they kill him, and the man's like a cockroach. It's like the industry. These people, like, they just won't die. They just won't go away. They just won't go away. But yeah, so there's these. You've got to break out from underneath that power. You know, if you think, well, I've got to do it 30 days or 60 days, you got to get away from that. You've got to figure out what is going to be your way of connecting with your audience. And that's why I say you don't necessarily have to have a YouTube. You just have to connect with an audience. That really is what's, I think, the primary piece in being successful in the comic book industry. That content very well could just be like a Substack or like a monthly newsletter or weekly newsletter that you do. But you have to create content that people want. You know, if you're a writer, the best thing for you to do is to have a newsletter so that you can write and tell stories and communicate well in that regard. Some people are not made for live video. They're not. I'm not particularly one of those people, but I tend to do it anyway because public speaking has been just a part of who I am. I do tell every creator, you've got to get used to being on camera. Like, Ashley, I'm so glad that you're on camera. We understand why Whiskey's not, because he lives up there in the free north.
Out and about, eh?
Can you see my out and about? You going for a rip, eh?
Go for a slip there, eh, bud?
No kidding, eh?
What are you talking about, eh?
Yeah. You know what? You can't trust anyone that just heats up some ham and passes it off as bacon. That's not bacon. We do have our Canadian bacon this morning, don't we, with these two? Adam says working with FMC has made me rethink my campaign strategy. I was too used to the pink site method. Yeah, that's the thing. You think about that. You got to break out and find out what's best for you. And having people there to advocate for you, I think, is smart too. Finding a good circle. I said comics broke me out of my naivety. I think we can all have horror stories about comics. But it's a matter of finding the crabs, identifying them quickly, and moving on. So, Ashley, have you experienced any crab bucket mentality yet? Or are you still too new?
I haven't really put myself out there enough to really get in the thick of things. I've had a few people basically say, like back when I was on Indiegogo, I had a few people say, you know, we're probably not going to buy anything from Indiegogo just because it's Indiegogo. You should move over to Kickstarter. And yeah, it's not great to hear that.
No, and that's such a stupid mentality that they've turned platforms into politics,
into bastions, basically.
Yeah, there's people that's trying to do that to fund my comic because we allow the freedom of expression on here and freedom of speech. Like they don't like that Wise of Heart was able to come and fund on this platform. They don't like Virtue Signal on here. They find that offensive, and they don't like Ma'am I Am. They really don't like Ma'am I Am. And so I know people that are even kind of free speech people that won't promote that book for fear of backlash from the mafia. You know? And I understand. I understand it happens.
But South Park's still on TV, right? They still make season after season.
Yeah, I think
so. Now. Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense.
They hit everybody. That's their secret. Yeah.
I don't think comics is a losing proposition. I think we're seeing comics evolve and do its thing like it always has. So they try to get rid of the comics, and you'll learn this. Like Randy could really speak on this. Randy, how many times has comics been under attack?
Under what kind? Every kind of attack. So that you again, I'm writing a book on history because it's so fascinating to me. You see it every time you turn around. It's always labeled as kiddie literature, the key factor in juvenile delinquency. It just gets crazy there after a while. Yeah. Well, the Code Authority was a mess, but a lot of that was made to control the spiral rack there too as well. Because the big books, the books that were really making money at that point weren't meant for kids. They were made for adults. So Crime Does Not Pay and the entire EC line, they were selling millions of books. The only thing that was close to it was Captain Marvel, Shazam, Captain Marvel Adventures, and DC National Periodical forced them out of business. So
you mentioned Spinnerack. So Spinnerack.io is kind of a neat thing too. Here's somebody else making a change, making real change. They're selling comics digitally as NFTs. You've got Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan working together over here. They've got mobile games on their platform here. They're trying to develop with comic books and stuff like that. So they're trying to make an all-inclusive experience kind of in this one space for comic book fans and opportunities for people to collaborate. Unknowns are going to be able to collaborate with guys like Chuck and Graham, which is kind of a neat idea. I'm not sure how well. I don't know. We'll see how this goes, because people they're reluctant for anything new.
Yeah, and I don't know the NFT thing. I think that's in the past now.
But it all needs to be tried, because you never know when the next groundbreaking platform or idea is going to come out and actually be successful. And nobody's going to have that unless they try.
Yeah, you've got to try.
Yeah. Speaking about
you've got to do
it. Randy, are you going to do an audio book version of that?
Of what?
Of your comic history thing?
I hadn't planned on it.
You should.
No, it's not a bad idea. A lot of people listen to audiobooks when they drive.
Might be fun. The thing with the book I'm working on, though, is I'm trying to actually put a human spin on it to show not just the history, but to show the people behind it, their motivation behind it, and that, because every time you read about history, you end up either idolizing or villainizing people as you go along. You know, and there were a lot of heroes and there were a lot of villains in the making of comics, but they were all human beings, and that's been part of the fun of doing the book. It's actually the history is told through a bunch of cartoon characters, monkeys, and I've got a dolphin and a chicken and that kind of stuff that are going through. Yeah, a little monkey named Spank. So, but anyway, a little chicken named Choke, a little dolphin. Anyway,
I got that.
Little bunny named Bop, you know, all that. Yeah. But I'm throwing in caricatures or drawings of these people as I find them that are keynotes in history, the people that you should know. You should be able to see them as the people that they are and appreciate them for the work that they did, or know that they weren't maybe you shouldn't be idolizing them in the first place.
Yeah.
That kind of history. So yeah, it'll be a great book one. It's on the list anyway.
It's on the list. I would love to see the bird dance. Yeah. So what did we start out with? How many backers did we start out with, Ashley?
I think it's about the same.
Yeah.
Although I should say, since you said it, I have actually added the black and white edition.
Look at that. He's been over there working $30 for the black and white, guys. You can get that with the shipping. Come on, guys. 45 backers. We're going to start doing our goodbyes. It's 3 hours at this point.
Yeah.
And as you can hear, my voice is just about gone. And I have plenty of work to do today. So I'm going to start going around, and we're going to leave this thing up. And actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around and Pedro.
Okay.
Pedro, what are you working on, and what do you want people to check out?
So basically, right now, if you want to learn how to animate, go check the first classes on my channel at Pedro Ang on YouTube. And now I'm sharing my screen so you can see what I'm going to do. Because a lot of people are animating their stuff for promotion. So I'm doing that myself. So I got I'm 2 drawings away from starting shadow work. So this is going to be the first little snippet of Waifus and Kaijus. This would be the Irish Angel, Sophia Murphy.
Sweet.
And
I'm going to have to cover this real quick. Agent Zero, you're forgetting that everything is a bundle on Fun My Comic. We got a shopping cart. They can put both of them in there or one of them in there.
I should say I do actually have an everything bundle on the second page, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You paginated.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There you go.
$70 complete combo. I would turn that pagination off, honestly, since there's only one over here.
Yep.
I would continue to scroll that.
Yep.
But yeah, you can get one of everything over there for $70. But yeah, you can create your own. That's the other thing. I get a lot of questions about, do you have add-ons? Everything's an add-on. We got a shopping cart. We're doing life different.
Yeah.
We do things our own way.
This ties into people are hesitant to change their ways, right?
Yep. So Pedro's working on animation stuff. Good.
There you are.
That's cool.
Look at that.
Waifus and Kaijus. Dude, that's great.
Yeah, dude. So it's gonna be one animation for every angel. This is taking me 4 days of work. So in between everything I'm doing, we're gonna start doing setting up the mailing list for Waifus and Kaijus, and this is gonna be the vehicle for promotion. But yeah, guys, use your toolbox. That's what she said.
That's what she said. Randy, what do we got going on here?
Look at that.
That's awesome.
This is artwork by comic book black belt Russell Leach. That we are adapting. Actually, Russ is doing the lion's share of the work. I just finished the script on it, and I'll be doing letters. But we are adapting the very first recognized sword and sorcery pulp story that was printed in Weird Tales back in 1929 by the great Robert E. Howard. So, and I can't wait for folks to see it. Russ is just knocking it right out of the park. It's all Russ's. This is a labor of love for Russ. He's always wanted to do this, and now he gets a chance to. And I'm just real happy he asked me to be a part of it.
I really love pages like that. Like I try to do that where it doesn't have panels and the story just merges right down the page. That's such a cool effect.
Well, the cool thing about this is Cull. And the cool thing about it is that he's very introspective all the way through the story. It's not Cull was a character created before Howard created Conan, and Cull is very introspective. He's always questioning himself, but he's very much the hero of the piece, and he's king, and he's having to deal with a political intrigue, and on top of some really wild magical conspiracy that's going on in his kingdom, and it's really a great story. And we weren't sure how long it was going to go, but we're trying to faithfully adapt the work. We'll be quoting the story all the way throughout, and doing our best to show more than tell. So, and Russ,
Randy,
like I said, is just knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, Randy, this is a great page, man. This is a celebration of the medium.
Really
I mean,
you can only do this in comics. If you try this in movies, it's going to look goofy as hell.
Yep. And this is him looking out the window, thinking about how he got to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Just really good. I think I can show the page before that too. I think here. Let me shoot that back down here. And look at this. Boom.
Oh wow.
Dude. This is him getting up off his throne and walking over to the window.
You better do an artist edition of this one too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're talking about doing the whole run. So yeah.
I hate you, Russ.
The whole spectrum of stuff.
I want you to know it. I hate you, Russ. I hate you.
It's
so
just
good.
turning out phenomenal, and it's the story is great. Everything on this is just fantastic. Like I said, I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, Russ is so talented.
Yeah.
So I've seen Russ working on this thing, live, and like I'm just like, hey, Russ, show me what you're doing, and then he like pulls it up, and he's like, oh, all casually and stuff, and I'm just like weeping.
This is going to be a large graphic novel. The actual story is at 67 pages, unless Russ decides to take it a little longer. So
yeah, Agent Zero wants to remind everyone.
I wouldn't blame him if he did. Yeah.
Agent Zero wants to remind everybody that the shipping is compounded in a shopping cart. That's also where we have the coupon codes. We have a couple of default coupon codes when you're building your campaigns. So if you want to offer for multiple items in the cart for discounted shipping, it's $4 off. The code is SHIP2, SHIP, the number 2. So if you're building a campaign, you want to offer additional $4 off the shipping cost for adding multiple items, you can work that into your price structure and offer SHIP2. Let people know. Even put it in your thing. If you add this reward, you can use this and it will take it off if you add it on. So yeah, you can do all that stuff there. We do all that stuff, man. We got an answer for everything.
There we go.
Yep, that we do.
We got an answer for everything.
On top of this, I'm finishing up the print file for The Fool. I'm having another property currently in the coloring stages that I'm just super proud of. We're going to be pushing that as soon as it's done. Clank, clank. And then back to the list and getting on to the Spank the Monkey on the comic market.
Yeah. And we know what Ashley wants you to do. He wants you to go back the Argonauts right now. Let's see where we're at on that.
Let's get the bird to dance.
Nah, the bird didn't dance yet. Come on, guys.
Make that bird dance.
So we'll check before we get to the end of this. We're really milking this so that you guys have a chance to put some money on this so we can make the bird dance. So
I will just say just a couple of things about Argonauts. First of all, the hope is that it will become an ongoing series. So this is like a genuine, number one. Second, if you like Giant Size X-Men number one, it's a very similar story. It's a rescue mission and an eventual rolled into one. So
cool.
Definitely give it back and you're going to love it.
I think so.
Tank Ferret in the house.
Yeah, Tank, man. It's nice to see you. I know Tank has some he was out for a little while. It's good to have him back. Tank, it's good to have you back.
Yeah.
Yes. Fellow tanker.
Kick Pedro. I'm jealous of his gains. Yeah, that's funny. Everyone agrees. Kick Pedro.
Yeah.
Whiskey, what are you working on? What do you want people to know about?
Okay, so I got two projects in the go that are based on each other. One is Banner Seed and Lance. It's a tabletop game. It's in development. It's been in development for several years. It's got 4 modules to it. A jousting game with not just jousting, but the fanfare and intrigue and stuff around that, where you can like attempt to assassinate the king while the jousting thing goes on. You got a skirmish game in there. You have a campaign like Risk attached to it. And then you have a full-fledged war game, and we're developing the rules. There's a big universe there, and we've been working on this thing for several years. I've hired a historian a little while ago to do the history for it, over 800 years of written history, and it's a fantastic project. And the opposite vein of that, where this is more rooted in historical realism, this tabletop game set probably about 300 years in the future is the comic book we're working on now, which is called Driftwood, which is high fantasy, where one is sort of like about noble and being noble and altruistic and honor and things like that. Value, foundation of values and the Western world kind of thing. This is more based on high fantasy and dark themes, and complete contrast to the other ones. So we got in Driftwood, we got necromancers and undead and high fantasy and magic systems, and it's about the story is going to be about a particular hero that shouldn't be, or sorry, he's not a hero. He is the worst person in the universe, tasked with saving the universe from its ultimate doom, and it's got necromancers and all that kind of stuff with it. So it should be very fun and interesting. So that will be coming down the pipeline eventually.
That does sound fun.
Luke is on storyboard.
Yep, storyboard.
We will be
nice.
Could be a lot of fun. Could be a lot of fun. Could be a lot of good times. Good times. Craig, man, what do you want people to know about?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if this will pick up on full screen or not. I'm a boomer. People haven't figured out yet, but there you go. There's my layouts. There's my storyboards. So Gonzalo's currently on page 7, I want to say. I'm on page 12 or 13 of my storyboards and my layouts. Not too bad. It's all like Egyptian hieroglyphs and stuff, eh? But if you, like you said, on Fund My Comic, you go over to Soul Tack. I've created a periodical bundle where they can pick up issue 1, 2, 3, and issue 4, which is what I'm working on right now. They can enter coupon code Beta 2023 for 20% off, and then that's a really good deal if you think about it. It's like 128 pages if you add it all up there. That bundle right there, enter Beta code 2023. You can get all 4 of those books, 128 pages for like $35 total. I think that includes shipping. It's insane.
Sweet.
That's the floppies.
So yeah,
that's the floppies.
I just gotta get the word out. I just got to get the word out to people that, hey, like, that's a killer deal. So
we call it a floppy, but it makes me. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
Don't say it.
That's what she said.
I'm not gonna finish that one. I'm not gonna finish that. Sometimes like these things hit me. Like I'm like, hey, that's funny, and I'm like, no, don't say that, Luke. Don't say that. You're a pastor, for crying out loud. Don't say crap like that.
But yeah, all the artwork that Gonzalo. I'm not going to put any more because I don't want to spoil it. But all those that I just showed you on screen, those are Gonzalo's pages in progress. I uploaded, I think, 4 of them. I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to give any more out because I'm ruining. But
these look great, man.
Oh,
Gonzalo's very good. He's very talented.
Yep.
You're good at the layouts too, because I know you do the layouts for the pages.
Yep.
You're good at the layouts, man. You could do layouts for people. You could.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I might hire you to do layouts for a couple of books I'm on.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at. I mean, I've been reading comics since 1985, so I mean, I know what a comic book is. I'm just not a good artist, But I've been reading them for, almost as long as I've been alive.
I tried to hire a guy once to do my layouts. He said, "Yeah, I do layouts. I'm great. I can do layouts for you." Because I work on multiple projects at a time, and so it's nice to have somebody kind of doing that stage because it can take a while for me sometimes.
Yep. Speeds up.
Yeah, it just speeds up the process. So they can be doing that while I'm doing layouts and art on another book, and then I can just jump over and do the line art real quick on those pages. It just speeds up the process. And so I hired this guy, and man, did this guy oversell himself by like 1,000,000 miles. He did like 1 page of layout for me, and none of it was good. Like nothing was right about it. His perspective, his camera angle, everything. He had no concept whatsoever of even what a comic book was, I think. And it was so bad. I was just like,
what is you're trying to say?
He had no idea the medium at all. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pass.
Portfolios are important. Same with tattoos. Always check out someone's portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with portfolios is that you never know how long it took them to make the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's always like, the portfolio looks good. Let's do a test.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Argonauts, where are we at? Dang it! Come on, guys. I it's 15 minutes after. I can't drag it out anymore. So, dude's wearing a cup. Yeah. Yep, that dude was wearing a cup. So yeah, That's a good deal on that book. For me, guys, you can find me at funmycomic.com. That's where I've been spending most of my time. LukeStoneStudios.com also is a pretty good way to go. So yeah. Check those things out. Don't be beholden to their plan. There's a reason why they want to create a pipeline for you to jump through hoops. They're the ones that created the hoops. They're the ones that created the pipeline so that they can benefit in their pockets. And many of these people that are pointing that stuff out, you know, and are coming along to try to cheerlead with you and say, yeah, let's find a way. We talked about it already. Antos jumping in that Discord was only there to break up the union, to distract people from what the true answer is, and that's leaving the mainstream, quote unquote mainstream. It's leaving that behind and forging your own way. You are your brand, plain and simple. There's no point in me working and building up Marvel Comics because they don't care about me. They don't care one lick about me.
Shingles doesn't care.
No, they don't. I like Arrow Comics because Arrow Comics is you. Like, that's the thing about that. Like, when you...
Well, and you are Arrow Comics, too. It's all creator-owned. You are in charge. It's your IP. You better use it.
So it's you. It's a true collaborative.
Yep.
People just trying to make it and find their way and using and pooling their resources and knowledge, which is great. You know, it's what we need. It's a kind of attitude mentality. And, it's gate kept a bit, you know, because it needs to be. You know, it's not, you know, it's you've got to have a quality. You got to have a certain level of excellence that goes into everything, which you should. I mean, like, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice for your artwork? And then break out of that mold that everyone tries to put you in, man. It's just ridiculous how many people line up.
We are only safeguarding the brand. Yeah. I mean, it's not even, we don't own it. Yep. It's Arrow Comics. It's its own entity. We are just part of it with our own IPs. That's the way that works.
It's dreadful how many people are lining up to suckle on that teat. And I mean, it's Russ. He's got a great because he's over there in the UK. They don't really care so much about all that political stuff. And so he can do work for these bigger companies, and they're, you know, I think they still like capitalism over there. Yeah. But Russ says, Randy, what a great marketing line. Arrow Comics is you. It really is. Yep. It's even the fans. Like, it's the fans too.
Yep.
It's everybody. And works for creators and connecting to readers. You've got to connect to readers, man. That's what it's about. When they say create content or marketing, you have to figure out how to connect with your audience, and you've got to create kind of that, got to create that connection, and that's what's important. It's a matter of building up more than you tear down and leaving the woodpile higher than you found it. You can see as soon as somebody said, hey, you need to do this, he was trying to build them up. He was trying to give them a way out. And what did they do? They tore him down because, no, we don't want help. We just want you to feel sorry for us.
They took away his publishing deal.
Yeah.
How vicious is that?
He had stopped doing indie comics. He wasn't going to self-publish anymore.
Totally uncalled for.
He didn't even say anything offensive or racist.
No.
Or, you know what I mean?
No.
He just said an opinion about a hashtag. And
what worked for him,
he
actually.
Spoke truth.
That's what he said,
He spoke some truth. Yeah. Like, he goes, it's 2023. Do your own thing. You don't have to. You don't have to settle for crumbs.
Where's the hate there?
It's just, you know, it was all.
The hate's the people that got him canceled.
Yeah,
it was neutral. There was nothing really negative or positive about it. It was
it wasn't neutral. He was trying to be helpful.
Yeah.
It was far from me. It was like, hey, all we need to do is this.
He offered his DMs.
It wasn't,
and all they did was try to cancel him.
Yeah, we're having a pity party to hope for the mainstream will give us some crumbs. How dare you shine a light on our
you're
pity
ruining it. Yeah.
How dare
you're
you tell
ruining
us to
our pity party?
We have woke over here, but people still like money.
I'm
People
Heather
here
with the
are
carrot.
allergic to money.
Don't
We all
forget,
like
I
money.
the carrot.
You know what? No, you know what this that like liar, like what are you doing? Like I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind?
You know, we're all fighting to make a living, but we're not trying to tear down the art form and claim that it broke us in the process.
Yeah, they
That's
broke
just ridiculous.
Try celebrating other
Comics
people's
broke
success
me.
instead of being obsessed with yourself. Like
Exactly right. Exactly.
Man,
right.
all these people on Fund My Comic that are making money, I'm so excited about it. The whole point of building Fund My Comic was so that I can make comics and be left the hell alone, which I've not been able to do either one since we've started that. I've been so busy with this, which the irony is not lost to me. I think it's funny. But the truth is in this that I celebrate in the wins for other people, and we should. It means that there's money out there to be made. It means that we can all have a livelihood doing what we love. We all can do that.
Knock on wood.
But it's going to take a lot of hard work, and it's going to take educating yourself, and it's going to take not looking for a handout, but saying, look, if you're not going to pay me the page rates that I'm deserved, I will find someone that will. Yeah. Oh, and now they said Tyler was forming a harassment campaign in retaliation for their harassment campaign. What a monster. Yeah, and they say, well, he's just going to monetize this. He's going to turn it into money. Well, why shouldn't he?
Well, shouldn't he? Yeah.
If he can,
why
good luck
shouldn't
to
he,
him.
right?
Absolutely.
The pure hubris of these guys, like their fans working like 2 jobs. They're like, comics broke me. Like, come on.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's where my resentment is they're blaming the art form instead of the publisher or whatever. It's comics that broke them. It's not comics that broke. They broke themselves. They allowed themselves to become slave labor. It's entirely on their shoulders. They just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, they did it.
They're
responsible for their demise.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they let someone like Antos come in, and they just listen, and they fall in line like little soldiers. She is the harbinger of death to companies.
Yeah, dude, she's like the petite Pinkerton kind of thing, like going against these guys are like trying to unionize or do something like a very lefty solution to the problem. And she comes in like a Pinkerton, like the CG guys in here. It's like, dude, really?
Well, she's literally There Will Be Blood. She's There Will Be Blood, only she will drink everyone's milkshake, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to try to show you this just to drive the point home here. Let's see if I can pull it up.
The number of times she has failed upward is overwhelming.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
To me, I don't understand.
And you know what? I'm happy for her, actually.
Yeah.
Like she has the ability to fail upward over and over and over again, and that takes talent.
There we are.
She's a villain for sure. Like she builds her career on fear and
exactly.
This is her backdrop when she does shows. This is her backdrop, and if you look at it, let me get over to it here. Give me just another second.
Cynical. It's cynical, completely nihilistic.
No, look at this. She claims she's the destroyer of words and childhoods. And she thinks that's funny.
Honesty.
She's honest. At least she knows. She's not stupid. It's just that she's just, I don't know.
That is her backdrop when she does shows.
Some of the most terrifying
narcissism at its finest.
Some of the most terrifying evil out there is definitely indifference.
Yeah.
And you can just see it seeping off of this lady.
Yeah, but dude, the best antidote to that is just ignore her. She'll go nuts.
Yeah. She goes after CG all the time.
Yeah.
CG was not brought up in that interview, and then she plays a victim. Why are you guys talking about me? Look. And I'm like, look, EVS is going after you because you went after EVS. I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And he's going to monetize you for that. Of course he is. Eric July monetizes his detractors, and why shouldn't he? Man, does he do a good job of it. And he sells books because of it. And because he sells books and makes money, you know what? People get really upset. Let's check out something here. Let's
That's something I really don't get, man. Like, why does it matter if
Let's
he's
check
selling
this
books?
out. Where is he at right now?
Oh, look at
Let's
that.
end on a high note.
Yeah.
Is it Rip-A-Verse? There it is. No, that's not
The
it.
page down? Yeah, the page. They've been having trouble with their page.
Ripaverse.com.
Yeah, it's coming up as this.
Oh.
Is that their hosting?
I'll get it. Give me a sec. It's going through.
I'm gonna give it a try.
They were having some trouble or something. You were saying.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like the traffic has been insane.
Here we go.
There you go.
There we are.
You got it?
Yeah, ripaverse.com. Yeah.
Awesome too.
I saw him too.
It's up there on mine.
I don't want to watch the trailer.
That animated trailer is.
Yeah, let me pull up Randy's.
The bomb, man.
It is a nice trailer. Look at that. Look at those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
$1.264 million. Last night, he was at 1.45 something, and he made like $2,000. He made $2,000 in 10 minutes while we were talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Yeah, 10,000 backers. He had 8,000 backers last night, almost 9,000. So he's gotten over 1,000 backers overnight. This guy has done this, right? Look,
this is awesome.
I don't care if you like him or not. I don't care if you like the book or not.
Yep.
You cannot discount his success. You cannot discount his success. Isn't the interiors aren't bad?
Right. Yeah.
I still think the city looks too pristine. I felt like the city looked too pristine before.
I mean, there's always going to be like things that you agree with, or things that I guess like this is not the best or whatever. But dude, it's undeniable the success, and why
I would have loved that in his
antagonize him.
first book.
Yeah, exactly.
There was
Like,
some things
why
about his first
antagonize
book
him?
that I was like, man, I could help make that so much better.
Yeah.
Just by just like 3 or 4 changes would have just like blown that thing. I think would have.
Yeah.
Especially just like kind of like visual cues that would have. Not that I'm tremendous at what I do or anything. That I think that I'm more talented than someone else.
There are things you notice, It's just,
Yeah.
It has nothing
But
to
as
do
a
with
fan,
hubris.
as a reader, I would have like, if I had a chance to input on that, it would have been, and the thing is, I know it was the same thing that I know the same things that probably, a few thousand other people noticed, and so like, someone that is like a really talented editor, imagine what they could have done or what they might be doing on this book.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
you have to start somewhere.
Right.
And build up from there.
All of the problems with ISOM 1 are the exact same problems first-time creators make. Ashley, first-time creator. Craig, first-time creator. Even Pedro, when he was first-time creator.
Same here.
Whiskey, on your first time creating.
Oh, yeah.
You're all going to make about the same mistakes. And he just had $4 million after he made them. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all the difference is. Instead of being broke,
nice place to be.
I had a couple $100 left in my name after it was over. Yeah, I think he had a little bit more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
But he made the same mistakes and he learned and he's doing something. He's improving on himself. And I'm saying, you know what? Bravo, man. Bravo.
Yep.
Way to go.
Bravo. This is way better than the French Mistake, to quote Blazing Saddles.
Art by Cliff Richards.
Yeah.
So that's what he's doing now. Yep.
Yeah.
He's making money. I know EVS did a cover.
Yep.
Made good money. Had a real payday on that one.
Yep.
Shane Davis did.
Shane Davis did a cover. Look, man, Shane is a tremendous artist.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I mean, I know there's people that like him and people that hate him, and I don't care. Like, he's a great artist. I don't have to listen. I'm one of those people. It's like, I don't have to listen to a person talk to enjoy their art. I'm not. That's not who I am. I think he's a tremendous artist. I don't really watch a lot of people on YouTube, to be honest with you. I watch a lot of history stuff and like alien videos.
Nice.
I'm kind of going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I like my history.
Yeah, I'm going down that ancient aliens rabbit hole again because I'm working on the next arc of hybrids. So, yeah, so it's. Oh man, this next arc is going to be so much fun.
Ever since that whistleblower came out, suddenly everybody and their brothers sticking up ancient alien videos.
I don't know. Like I lately I've been listening to a lot of Mel Gibson rants,
Okay.
Just to calm myself.
Yeah.
just calm yourself.
I do want to caution you, Grey Wolf. So I've been hearing a lot of this. Eric July is the man. We need to learn from him big time.
Yeah.
Do not, please, do not compare what you're doing to Eric July.
Yeah, don't do it.
Eric had a music career. He made an audience, 517, I think, thousand subscribers, based on his social and political commentary and his music. You cannot think that you're going to make $4 million on a comic book
Right away. Yeah.
right away. EVS is not doing that, and he's done comics for 30 years. Okay? Eric's success is unique to him because he is a personality that made his notoriety on commentating on comic books. And he got fed up with it for so long that he became a fan that turned creator. Okay? There are things you can learn. Always make your second book better than your first. Take the money that you make and invest it in yourself and your company. Don't think I'm just going to go get a steak dinner somewhere. Invest back into yourself.
But you gotta eat. You gotta eat.
You got it. Yeah, you got to eat.
And
But still live like you didn't make that much money.
And you also have to appreciate anybody who makes money in this business.
Yeah.
There are always something to learn from that, no matter what kind of a book they do, no matter what you think of them. They are, if they're making money and you're, as much a capitalist and you want to make a living in this business, you need to look at these examples and glean from them what works for you, from what they are doing that makes them successful.
Yeah. Look at this.
So add there as well. Like, be yourself. Most importantly, put your heart and soul and your blood and sweat and stay up. Work all night, work through the day, fall asleep in your chair, get it done, get the hard work done. Don't quit, never give up, and just keep pushing. And you're gonna get somewhere.
Yeah. Eric does have a great respect for people in the art form. And yes, definitely emulate that. He's got to respect. He is himself. And the other thing that he did is, like, you think about, he come from music. He used this music background, this knowledge. Think about it. If he was just making a record label and he did this, nobody would say a word. What upsets them is that he created an entire company with its own distribution outside of the art form. Outside of Diamond, outside of these big publishers, he circumvented and usurped their authority and took their power away. And when he did that, he showed other people that you can take their power away. You don't have to do it their way. So those are some things that you can look at and you can learn.
He even had PayPal messing with him. PayPal held back $1.7 million.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to happen anytime they smell a lot of money and a lot of, he's made too much money.
Yeah.
That's why PayPal was giving him the hindrance that they were. You're going to find that, especially with people who have larger platforms. Look at all the times look at Patreon as an example. They come in, change the rules. Too many people making too much money. YouTube comes through, change the rules. Too many people making too much money. Amazon has gone through and changed their rules a number of times. Too many people making too much money in the wrong direction. Makes the corporates mad. Corporates pay for advertising, so they got to go through and change their rules in order to hinder people.
I'm going to show off the analytics for the last 7 days. I want to bring. There's a point I want to make. Can you guys see that when it pops up?
We're going up on 4 hours, guys.
Thresholds.
Yeah, I know.
It's a record.
Yeah. We're getting ready to quit. Threshold applied. Google Analytics has applied a threshold to this card and will only display the data when the data meets the minimum aggregation thresholds. Google is throttling. They're not recording all of our traffic on Fund My Comic. The reason why, let me show you something here. The last 90 days, this is our traffic. Okay?
Whoa!
And this is when they started thresholding us. Because that's where we were.
Yep.
We had this huge
Spike.
amount of growth. that, let me see if I can find it. Right here it is. They flagged me. It's flagged. Spike in users on this date. It says anomaly detected. You know what day that was?
EVS?
That was the day. No, that was the day that Mr. Reagan did the video for Ma'am I Am.
Okay.
Which happened right after the launch of Little Mermaid. So we had Little Mermaid traffic, and we had Ma'am I Am traffic, and we spiked. We went back down, but then look, we started leveling out.
Jumping up again. Yeah.
Yeah. Now they can't do anything about our real time stuff. So we do still see some of the real time stuff. Like right now, in the last 30 minutes, we've had 27 users that have been kind of all over the United States and a little bit over here in Ireland. And so it kind of shows us where we're at, and it shows we've had a lot of people shopping. The rewards has been on there a lot. The explore page, the home page. Unbreakable Argonauts has been getting some views. Let's see if it got any backers though. Where was that? See if it got any backers.
Man, I did this.
Look, you're looking at the page. Go back it, for crying out loud. Anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to show that off. That's a so they throttle your if they think you're getting too much, man, they try to pull that back. And we understand. We get that. We're still trending way higher than what we were before, than what we were when we initially started. So we kind of know where our traffic's at, and we don't, we don't live and die by that. We're not really worried about it. We're basically trying to keep an eye on what our demographics are, and I don't think they like our demographics either, because Brave browser is moving up in the list, and
Google and all of them have a partnership.
Yeah, and they're I think there's a lot going on there, but I think it's funny, because they get upset about those things because you circumvent what they want, what they have in place. But that's the whole making a real change. And when you make a real change, sometimes people are going to have a little trouble with it, but they'll get used to the change.
Comics broke me.
Yeah, and then there's people that are going to be upset. They're just going to be upset that you've made that change. But having said that, guys, we've been going at this for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I am done. Thank you, Ashley, for being here and hanging with us for this long time. You got to have some butt power on this show. Yeah. But we have been listening now for. We have had a steady flow of viewers. Thank you, chat. Thank you out there for being a part of the conversation with us today. We hope that you have found some value and entertainment in this show today. Otherwise, we're wasting all of our times, but I don't think that we are. I do appreciate you very much. Thank you to the channel members out there that are supporting the channel. It allows us to continue to make content. A few more channel members, and we'll probably be able to focus more time on pre-recorded videos. And so we're looking at doing some more pre-recorded videos on tutorials and things like that. I've had some requests. And is this just for FMC or YouTube channels? That was, no, those analytics were for me, for FMC. My YouTube channel, I'm only on this one. We're creating a YouTube channel for FMC, for Fund My Comic. So it'll be kind of its own thing, but I'll still always use this one for updates and things like that too. So, all right. Yeah. Having said that, guys.
Plus the bacon has to keep sizzling.
The bacon has to keep sizzling. Yep. Well, you guys know what it is. We do this every week, and we'll continue to do this because it's fun. It really is a way of life for us. Build up more than you tear down. Leave the woodpile higher than you found it. Make the world better for somebody else out there today. And by all means, please be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. Two Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see it 211, half a dozen 459, 218 double user GTA, several miscellaneous crimes.